He's very familiar with almost everybody in this lineup. They've gone through it, and that's been a big part of it. Some of these young kids have come up that he has shown a lot of confidence, and they're very comfortable playing for him. Right? He's not a big league manager. He's Trace, the guy they play with in the minors where they really performed. And guys like Nick Sogard here and others, they see that confidence out in the field.
What a night here at Dodger Stadium. It's hot, but it's also trade deadline season. We're about a day away, as you saw on the countdown clock. This is as fascinating of a matchup as you're going to have this weekend in Major League Baseball. And we are just about underway on Sunday Night Baseball. Emmett Sheehan's first pitch is swung on and fouled away for strike one by Nick Sogard. Wheels up time 7:20 Eastern, 4:20 local.
So far in this series, Red Sox have taken the first 2 games. That is really unsettling to the Dodgers for them to lose a series at home. They got swept by Arizona right before the All-Star break, and this series looking like the same one.
Those would be the only 2 sweeps this year for the Dodgers. And Dave Roberts has talked about, right, you can't win every day if you're going to get ready for the postseason, and that's the juggling he has to do with his day-to-day and looking at the long game as well.
It's been very interesting to watch the Red Sox up close and personal compared to hearing about their hot streak. And I'm really impressed. This is a team that really is competing on every pitch.
Well, you know, the whole stretch started with a 4-game sweep of the New York Yankees. Then they were in first place at that time. Then it was the 3-game sweep of the White Sox and a 4-game sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays. All teams that were in first place at the time. This was the ultimate test. And I almost felt like the Dodgers and Doc, he was just sort of looking at it like, let's see what these guys are really about. I want to see if there's real magic. And I think he's kind of seen a team that just competes and grinds and very confident.
They definitely play baseball every single pitch, as far as the running of the bases, the laying down the bunts, turning a sac bunt into a base hit, the defense behind, especially in center field and up the middle. It has been really impressive to watch guys where you only know the name on the front of their uniform, you barely know the name on the back.
3-2 to Nick Sogard, and he sprays that foul. So an early challenge for Emmett Sheehan to try to get out of an at-bat here against Sogard, who's leading off. But you see, the Red Sox are hitting home runs enough, and then when they're not hitting home runs, they're creating runs in other ways. 3-2. That is ball 4. Close pitch, leadoff walk for Sogard.
Well, he's tough to challenge that in the first inning, right? On the first hitter. Because once you've burned a challenge, the rest of the game does change. Like the hitters change, the pitchers change, how aggressive they want to be on it.
I think the challenge system has made the umpires better. I think it's freed them up to call balls and strikes, but also know that if there is a mistake that would have changed the game, that they have a net below them.
Well, there's also, I think, more of a respect for what the umpires are doing because they have to call every pitch. Batters look back. They don't know whether or not to challenge. The umpire had to make a call on that pitch.
And then when the ABS system comes up and you see that it missed by 1/8 of an inch,
right,
or the width of a seam on a baseball, or that's what made it a strike, you see how good these umpires are.
It's a ball up. So Ceddanne Rafaela is standing in. You'd have to imagine he's not going to see a whole lot of off-speed pitches today. He's got 3 homers in the series, all on splits or changeups, for a young man who has really come into his own, and he's doing less of that, Lou, chasing out of the strike zone.
Especially early in counts, less swing, getting in 1-0 counts, 2-0 counts. There was a lot of auto swings with him in the first pitch, and you didn't have to throw him a strike, but he's getting in better counts, and he's much better here too with 2 strikes. Look at that, 229. Using the whole field, been a big difference for him.
You know, Clayton, I know you have been really impressed with watching him play in this series. Can you give us any breakdown on him, why you love him so much?
Well, he just plays elite defense. You know, when he plays center field, it is so fun to watch. He can go get balls in front of him, behind him, and then, I mean, you're seeing it right here with Shea. Like early in the game, he's already 10 pitches, 11 pitches in the game and hasn't gotten out yet. So this is the kind of the stuff that the Dodgers are talking about, not having these 20, 25 pitch innings so you can get deeper in the game. And you know, Rafael is having good at bats, but this is kind of what the Red Sox have been doing. They've just been grinding pitchers down, and then somebody will get tired, make a mistake, and well, that could be a double play ball right there, though.
That's for Edman, and the turn is late.
Lou, it looked like it got on Mookie's heel of his glove and slowed down the exchange.
Yeah, and you're talking about the athleticism, guys like Rafael, you know, the speed, you got to get rid of it. And it looked like Mookie just sort of, I don't know if it handcuffed, just didn't get that grip, got it off the heel a little bit. And that's enough for Cedon to get on base, kind of keep this inning moving.
He can really fly, Rafael. Late switch, by the way, at catcher for the Dodgers. It was supposed to be Dalton rushing behind the plate, but Eliezer Alfonso was a very late addition into the lineup for Los Angeles. And obviously there are some discussions of who's going to be the catcher. Maybe they look at a catcher at the deadline here, but this defense is full of Gold Glovers out there for Los Angeles.
I have no idea, but when I see a late scratch around the trade deadline, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Even in the minor leagues, I've never seen so many minor league reports about prospects not playing this time of year.
There's a whole cottage industry for hug watch nowadays. Evidently, reports are it is a minor arm injury for Dalton rushing.
That is a very good thing, because with Will Smith being out, still injured, working his way back into baseball activities, Dalton has grown leaps and bounds as a good and a really good everyday catcher.
On the ground and through, that's a base hit for Abreu. Rafaela skids the brakes around second. He was thinking about it. Pages got to that very quickly, and so it's going to be first and second.
Yeah, maybe not the guy you want to run on, but this is a good sign because Abreu's really in it right now. Last 11 games, 4 for 44, some swing and miss. He can be a streaky guy, but boy, when he gets going, he can win you a series with his bat.
Now Wilson Contreras, and talking to Chad Tracy before the game, he mentioned that Contreras has upped his level as a leader in that Red Sox clubhouse. First pitch swing, looping liner to left. Teoscar Hernandez makes the catch. 2 down.
We had 10 years of service the other day, and this was a scary moment. Didn't play last night, able to get in there today. Got him pretty good right behind that ear. Passed all the tests in there, but 10-year vet. Not many of them out there, especially right now with guys like Story and IKF out of this lineup. There's not too many guys with 6 years of service time, so he becomes extremely important. Just a leader in that clubhouse. He plays with so much passion.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He was in concussion protocol yesterday, back in the lineup today. As there's a breaking ball to Yoshida for ball 1. But even the thing that happened in Sacramento, right? Wilson Contreras could have made that a bigger deal with Jarren Duran after the game, all that stuff. Didn't happen.
No.
Kind of went away publicly, and there's maturity in that as a leader.
Listen, he's been around the league. I know a lot of people have opinions. It's not a fun guy to play against, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this experience. He plays the game every day like someone's trying to take it from him.
I love that.
And that's the attitude this team is sort of taken over, right? This toughness.
Where do you think it comes from, that attitude with this team, Luke?
Well, he's a big part of it. The man on deck, Caleb Durbin, to me, there was a moment when he dislocated that finger in Colorado. He popped it back in, took a long flight back home, refused to come out of the lineup. The next day, popped a 2-run homer off Cam Schlittler, the deciding home run the next day. And it just, this is what it is. I'm staying in this lineup. I'll pop this finger back in. I could sit for a day or two, but I'm not.
Then off they went. They swept the Yankees.
That was it.
And that 15-game win streak started.
That was it. 27-5 since.
2-2. Into left field, base hit. Rafaela around third with the game's first run. 1-0 Boston. 2 singles and a walk and a run on the board for the Red Sox, who are scalding hot.
Their approach is fantastic. Using the middle of the field, the ground ball. This one staying inside the ball and just finding the 6-hole.
Massa just a professional hitter. You know, maybe not driving the baseball, but he makes contact. He can draw some walks. And again, or I can be honest with you, a month and a half ago, that was not the approach. You know, 2 months ago, it wasn't. It was, they couldn't score runs at Fenway Park. 2.5 runs a game. Swing and miss everywhere. You buy in. When you get going like this, everybody just buys in.
Well, and it's a team that this city of Boston is just going to love, like they love the duck boats. It's a course correction, according to our cartoonist. They're 32-46. They're taking on water. Somebody bail some water and save Wally. 27-5, as you mentioned. 15 straight wins, tied for the longest streak in franchise history. And look how seaworthy the craft is now. They were reading the emergency briefing at one point in that duck boat period early.
It was getting ugly back in Boston. This kid's probably the poster child of it all.
Durbin?
Yes. Oh, played good defense from day one. First 48 games, hitting 163, 60% ground ball rate. Everything was 5-3, 6-3.
Wow.
And then it just clicked. Last 55 games, hitting over 300. There you go.
Smokes this into right center. Durbin's got another hit. The Red Sox have another run. He takes a very wide turn. Nobody home at first, and Durbin makes it 2-0 Boston. This is vintage Red Sox during this streak.
So I was talking about Oral too, right? All the ground balls, but all of a sudden he started staying inside the baseball, getting the ball in the air, using the whole field. That might have been a 5-3, 3 months ago. But getting his hands through it, not as many ground balls, only 40% now compared to 60. Just grit and grind.
It's impressive when you talked about the dislocated finger and the inspiration that was to the club. I mean, for such a small thing, but a big thing to turn out to be so much leverage for him in the clubhouse.
Look at these splits. Ground ball rate had a big part to do with that. 9 home runs compared to 1 for. Remember, he's replacing Rafi Devers and Alex Bregman.
Emil, what do you got?
I love the Emil, what do you got, by the way, from Mike Malinsky, the plate umpire.
Oh, right in our backyard.
Yeah,
I feel like he's in my living room.
Yelled that right in your ear, Mike Malinsky. (2-0) on Monasterio, who takes a strike. I mean, here's a guy with 14 major league home runs, but the power has been popping, Lou.
It's the extra base hits from this kid in July. He took over a couple of injuries at short. All he's done is hit 338. 12 extra base hits last month. He just continues to do it.
And Oral, it's kind of the first inning of nightmares for Emmett Sheehan, right? Some bad misses, got him in some negative counts, and then the Red Sox pounced.
Yeah, they have capitalized on his mistakes, and he has put them into hitters' counts an awful lot.
2-2. That is outside. 3-2 off the slider. A very long inning for Emmett Sheehan. This will be his 30th pitch coming.
His outings are the toughest when he can't find a way to put people away, when the breaking ball is wide and flat. When your best stuff and your best action pitches are balls, it's really hard for hitters to respect you.
Kirsch, you said it. Pitch count's got to stay down here. He's gone 30 in the first.
Yeah, this isn't ideal. We need to get it out here just to salvage and maybe try to get through 4 or 5 now. But at this point, that's a good pitch right there.
He used the slider that he missed with on the previous pitch, but the Red Sox, with 3 hits, have 2 runs, and they're rolling again. Starting lineup for the Dodgers, presented by Capital One. It starts with Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Kyle Tucker. You see all those lefties in the lineup. It's hard to avoid with some big name lefties. And a first pitch, line drive by Ohtani against Jake Bennett, who's been really tough on lefties so far this year. That's the 10th hit only he's allowed against a left-handed batter, and that's going to be pressed this evening.
Yeah, no extra base hits against lefties. There's some good ones in this lineup. This 25-year-old lefty has been so impressive. Came over in the offseason in a prospect-for-prospect deal. The Red Sox have won that one. Just continues to attack the zone, gets deep into counts, elite extension, so 93, 94 gets on you.
Here's Andy Pages to take ball one. So Clayton Kershaw, we heard quite a bit from Chad Tracy about the extension of Bennett. Lou just mentioned it as well. What are hitters seeing with that extension?
Well, I mean, the closer you are when you let it go, the harder it's going to seem. So, you know, when you see 92, 93, 94 right here from Bennett, it's really getting on you like probably 95, 96. And so you'll probably see that with some of the swings. And he relies a lot on his fastball, four-seam and his sinker, throws a lot of both of those pitches and has a ton of success. He's not out there to punch a bunch of guys out. He's just getting the ball in play, not walking guys, and he's looking for a ground ball right here to turn a double play for sure.
Yeah, Clayton's talking about that reaction time. So the farther you get down the mound, a foot represents about 3 miles an hour of reaction time for the hitter. And if you are camouflaging your arm swing after your hands break a little bit and hiding your arm and getting down the hill, now you have an extra illusion to the hitter.
See that pitch right there, or where he wanted to go. That up and in quadrant to righties. His extension 7 feet 1 inches, 95th percentile. But that up and in quadrant, boy, can really tie up some righties, and he plays that little changeup off it.
Behind here, it's clipped foul.
We just showed that shot of his extension down the mound, and so many pitchers will throw behind their front leg. And so when you can be patient enough to have your front leg land and let your upper body start to curl over your lower leg, now that's where you get the extension, when the ball is released almost out in front of your front leg. And that takes a lot of patience.
And he gets a swing and a miss there off the changeup for Pages, and that is strike 3.
The effort is normally harder is better. Well, harder is better as long as you're patient before you give the energy. And just like in hitting, you've got to wait for the explosion with your body and the lever system. Kersh was amazing at it. Absolutely amazing. In the biggest moments to make the biggest pitches, he could still stay patient with his delivery.
I couldn't throw a changeup, Boral. That was a good changeup right there. That was a really good pitch. With, 10 miles an hour difference and a ton of movement. Like that was, he can strike some guys out with that. That's for sure.
We'll face Tommy Edman here, and right back to the changeup to Edman, who is a specialist against left-handed pitchers, who came over at the deadline 2 years ago for the Dodgers.
The can't throw a changeup from Kersh. For me, Kersh, it was stubbornness that I didn't want to take away from my sinker and my curveball and add so many of them, and I could never get comfortable with a grip to really execute one either.
Yeah, and I think with Bennett here, it's kind of his arm angle. You know, he's a little bit lower 3/4. Really, I mean, that is such a good changeup right there. I don't know how Tommy lays off of that one right there, but it's all about how pitchers throw. You know, your body is kind of conducive to what you can do, and so like the Dodgers and a guy named Tarek Skubal and his changeup that they just got, it's pretty fun to watch when guys have really good ones, and this guy does right here.
1-2. Edman gets a piece of that changeup. Yet Tarek Skubal, if you just missed it, maybe you were on a plane with no Wi-Fi for 48 hours. Tarek Skubal traded to the Dodgers for 3 prospects just yesterday night. We're told Skubal is either on his way or here.
So you think he slides into the rotation or use him out of the pen?
Check swing, he went around, and that is strike 3. Edman on a curveball that gets buried for out number 2 from Bennett.
Yeah. Bennett pretty much lives with a 3-pitch mix, right? 4-seam, sink, changeup, but he will mix in that little curveball, sweeper, and the occasional cutter here lately, just to kind of keep you honest. And this is a really good one here. Obviously, Tommy didn't see it well.
The Dodgers don't usually see the real scouting report that a pitcher normally uses against every day. Their resumes make people reach a little deeper into their repertoire.
Well, Freddie Freeman just keeps on doing it. He's got 22 hits the last 11 games during that hit streak, and you saw that egregious .511 batting average over the last 11 games. (1-0). Freeman explodes on it, but fouls it away. It's a ball and a strike. Kirsch mentioned Bennett throws his fastball a lot. He's very willing to throw fastballs, sinkers into left-handers. Bennett versus Freeman, Kirsch, is an interesting matchup tonight.
Yeah, that's such a tough pitch. When you have a good sinker left on left, like you're talking about Christopher Sanchez and Skubal and some of these guys. And Freddie's going to do what he always does. He's going to try to hit a ground ball to shortstop. And sometimes he gets it in the air for a homer. Sometimes he hits it right there. But like that's what happens. He gets going, and that was the 4-seam. But it still had so much movement that Freddie goes. But like you said, just watching Freddie, it's pretty amazing to see what he does day in, day out. Just continues to collect hits, continues to be the same guy every single day. And it's pretty fun when he can pencil in his name in a lineup every single day.
Sox threw a couple tough lefties and Suarez in total the last couple of nights, and just 3 hits a night from this guy.
We got a pitch timer violation, I believe. Yeah, it's ball 2. Freddie Freeman gets the advantage of ball 2. That timer was on the way down, and Mike Malinsky said no, 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 and stopped play.
You don't see that too much. Pitch clock's doing its purpose, right? Guys are just getting into routines. It's nice. He felt like a couple years maybe you wouldn't need a pitch clock because it's just a part of a routine now, and it has been.
Guys have learned very easily, it feels like. 2-2, breaking ball away. 3-2.
You know, I watched it the last couple nights Freddie hit, and I almost feel like he's like Luis Ariz with pop. Like he just stays inside the baseball. He's not trying to do too much off tough lefties. Line drive to left, ground ball to short, like Kirsch was saying.
3-2. It's a ground ball to first. It rolls to Contreras, and the Dodgers leave one. T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. 2-0 Boston. 3 hits in the first inning, and a long first inning for Emmett Sheehan. He threw 30 pitches. And his first one here is a fastball right down the middle to Jarren Durant. Guys, a lot of misses up in the first inning for Emmett Sheehan. The Dodgers rotation is even more intriguing than it was 24 hours ago with Tarek Skubal showing up, but you have Tyler Glasnow, you have Blake Snell, who are both coming back, and logjam doesn't even begin to describe it.
No, it is an embarrassment of riches for sure, and it's all based on that embarrassment of who ends up being healthy. And the health is the biggest question, not the talent.
It's honestly the same as our booth most weeks.
Well, I can tell you from an outsider looking in, I respect the fact that you have the prospects that you're going for, and I love what you're doing, right? But it is somewhat annoying. Like you sit back and you're like, of course they're going to get him.
If it's annoying to you as a professional and is watching and observing and now talking about it, how annoying is it for the Red Sox fans?
Well, we went through it with the Yankees. You know, late 90s, 2000s. You're adding guys, whether it's Giambi and A-Rod and Messina and Clemens and Randy, and it's already a great team. Do you really need more? But hey, tip your cap.
But then you have a World Series where the Yankees lose to the Diamondbacks.
Sure.
And so, you know, if you're the Dodgers, it's not your fault that you feel like you can add. Right?
Shouldn't feel guilty.
I sound a little like Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
But that, you know, if you have the prospects, as you said,
and they have them,
use them.
They still have them.
I think the Dodgers and the front office and ownership, the organization as a whole, they are not satisfied with winning. When they win, they want more.
Sure.
And I think they really take the responsibility and the obligation to the fan base and to Shohei Ohtani deferring all the money, that there's almost an obligation to continue to go out and get the best player on the market to improve the team, because he is the one, after the contract was negotiated, that personally said, I want the money to be deferred because I want you to be able to give me the best teammates possible. That's pretty good and pretty big obligation, and they take it as a very responsible thing.
Kirsch, did you feel that in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean, I think more than anything, what you see with the Dodgers is that they have a willingness to make the tough decisions. You know, they gave up 2 really good players in River Ryan and Zaire Hope. Like, those guys are going to be really good big league baseball players, but they're counting on the next 3 months of Terry Skubal to get him to another World Series. So, you know, that's the thing. And like, there's so much buy-in with the players, and I was talking about this earlier, but it's really fun as a trade deadline to be on a team like the Dodgers, or to be on a team that potentially like the Red Sox that could go get and add some pieces at the trade deadline, because August is the dog days, man. It's tough to be in baseball. It's hot everywhere. It's tough. You're traveling a bunch. You're kind of ready for the September, ready to get there. And so to get some new pieces, to get some new blood, to get some excitement around is important. And obviously the Dodgers do it better than anybody. And so they have the prospects and they're willing to do it. And I think that's the biggest difference. You know, some of these other teams that are right there, like the Brewers, Rays, even Yankees, that might have had the prospects to do it, they didn't do it. And so that's, you know, you can be mad all you want, but at the end of the day, they could have, you know, and they didn't.
No, and Tarek Skubal, as you said, Oral, in the top of the show, one of the most competitive guys out there, a real animal on the mound, to the point where, I mean, he threw a complete game against Cleveland last year on a day game, and in the middle of that complete game, he shattered a bat for the final out of an inning. He walked over to pick up the pieces of the bat to hand them to the bat boy on the way off the field. And he was just trying to be nice, but it's a savage move while we're at it. But Skubal is that kind of guy. I've seen him for 3 years now close up with the Tigers. He's the kind of guy that will make everybody feel like you're going to win. And he's going to do it with his personality and his stuff. 2-2. In there, strike 3. Great response by Emmett Sheehan. He strikes out the side in the second inning. The Red Sox, though, lead 2-0. FanDuel is the home of home runs this season. Take a look at our home run odds for tonight's game. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free to earn profit boosts the next day. Mookie Betts, longtime Boston Red Sox. When we were here a couple of weeks ago, we chatted with Mookie about a wide variety of things. You can see it on the NBC Sports YouTube channel. But we asked him who taught him maybe the most at the Red Sox. He lines out to short there. Here's his answer.
PD probably wouldn't like this, but all the times that he would yell at me, Pedroia, he would yell at me so much about, like, you know, if I said I was trying, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. Looking back on it, like, I think he was yelling at me because he actually liked me, you know, and he liked me. He wanted me to be successful, obviously for me, but for the team as well. And you know, now I look back on it, I appreciate him yelling at me, because now I can do the same thing to a couple of the young guys and understand why and what he was saying.
We got a challenge here of a strike. It looks close. Kyle Tucker, an ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile, and it is a ball. Dustin Pedroia telling Mookie Betts there's no try.
Yeah, not a surprise. We don't try in Boston, we just do. But that's Petey with the young guys. It is still strange to see Mookie here, who's just so good in Boston. Just an all-around great player, one of the greatest players we've had all around.
It's hard to believe, actually, that he's been here in Los Angeles longer than Boston now. Year number 7 compared to 6 with the Red Sox.
And he's following through on his commitment, because when he signed, he said, I'm not here to win 1 ring. I'm here to win a lot of rings.
Line drive center field, and a base hit for Kyle Tucker, who feels like he spent most of the season trying to get on track for the Dodgers.
He's had some spurts where you go, okay, Kyle has shown up and it's really him, and he started to have some better body language and some better swings and better swing decisions. but he hasn't really able to have any lengthy hot streak.
A couple of those years in Houston were unbelievable. Then the injuries came into play. It was okay last year in Chicago. Had a good year.
Teoscar Hernandez, ground ball through. Monasterio checked up on it, did not lay out to dive. And you cannot open the door to the Dodgers very much without somebody barging in.
No, and especially thinking maybe an inning any double play. He pulls up. I think he thinks Sogard, a little miscommunication. A couple guys that haven't really played all that much, but Monasterio can get to this and at least flip it to get one out. And just sort of, like I said, took his eye off it, looked up, thinking Sogard would be there to get it.
See if Bennett can pitch around it. Max Muncy takes a first pitch. 1 home run to have the Dodger Stadium record for home runs for Max Muncy.
When you talk about culture and a manager that knows what his players need and the players have the manager's back.
Muncy lays into it, right field, and a wall off the base of the fence. There's a log jam on the bases. Tucker hung on and did not run. Abreu, his track kind of baited the Dodgers there. It's bases loaded.
Well, it's the swing of an 8-hitter that was an all-star.
Yes.
To talk about a relationship between a manager and his team, that you can have Max Muncy hitting 8th and hitting balls off the wall and driving in runs.
Yeah, but Tucker at second base. Everything changes between no outs and 1 out. With nobody out, you want to make sure you can get to third base and tag on that to get there with less than 2. But with 1 out, you have to be off the base. Like, that could have been very easily second and third and a run in. You want to try to score on that ball with 1 out. It's different.
You could be 15 feet off of second base, so if the ball is caught, you have time to sprint back and tag and go to third, or you've got a 15-foot jump on when the ball goes over the outfielder's head. And you see his numbers, not the front of his uniform, but the back of his uniform. That's a cue for runners.
With that, now you place the rookie Alfonso, who's got 20 plate appearances, in a position where there's a double play in order rather than a productive out to get a run home and maybe tie the game. Again, Dalton rushing a late scratch, what's officially termed right arm irritation.
The 2-0 count here. This is really close to a take, unless it's exactly where you want it with Ohtani on deck.
2-0. Ooh, ground ball to shortstop. It's Monasterio. And he does make that play, but it's an RBI for Alfonso, and the Dodgers are on the board at 2-1.
It's a nice play by Monasterio to come get this, to at least get 1 out. Now with the base open, we'll see. Tracy pitched to him before. He had a 2-run homer last night, walked him with that base open. Looks like they're going to do that again.
It's met with reverence by the Dodger Stadium crowd. They're thrilled to see Ohtani stroll to first.
Well, the first thing when you think about pitching to a lineup is, who do I not going to let beat me? And he's an easy one to pick.
It's like sleep at night type thing. If I let Ohtani, I can't sleep. If Paez gets me, and he's leading the team in RBIs, it still feel like you could sleep a little better.
And he's worn out left-handed pitching this year. Paez has. He's in the 2 spot. Yeah, the first one is way outside from Bennett.
Kirsch, what's the biggest growth you've seen from Andy Paez?
Well, in these situations, I think what I see most is he's an RBI guy now. So he takes the ball the other way. He'll hit this ground ball in between first and second. He'll take what the pitcher gets him. And so I actually asked Chad Tracy about this in our meeting. I said, hey, in this situation, second and third, 2 outs, 1 out, are you going to walk Shohei again? Because he did this last night. And he said he didn't know. So I guess there's the answer. He's going to walk him. And obviously on paper it makes sense. It's just left on left. This guy is so good against left that I would think twice. Just how good Pages has been. And obviously, I know you don't want Shohei to beat you, and I know what the book says, and I know all that, but I don't know. I don't think I want Pages beating me right here, so we'll see. I'm probably wrong. You know, I'm not managing, but that's what I would do.
Sound like you're interviewing for it.
Every player at some point on the bench has gone into full manager mode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, every day. Every day we're down there doing that. Yeah, second guessing. It's so easy because we don't have to talk about our mistakes. We just say when we get it right, you know. So, but, you know, the book says you walk Shohei. He's the best hitter in the game, best player in the game, and so I definitely understand that. So this is going to be a changeup, I bet. Oh.
Ground ball first base and through. Pass Contreras into right field. One run home. Abreu has a cannon, but he's late. And the Dodgers take the lead. Andy Pages does pay it off, and it's 3-2. Just a little cue ball down the right field line.
Well, Kirsch even called where the hit was going to be, saying he's an RBI guy. The growth, this situation, he said he'll take it and go the opposite way. He'll hit the ground ball down the first base line, and very good scouting, Kirsch.
Yeah, did you see that swing, Oral? I mean, he just kept his hands inside. He was not going to get beat. He was not going to be out in front of the changeup, and that's just really, really good hitting. Really, really good hitting.
Clayton Kershaw, you saw Pages deal with what he dealt with in the postseason last year and how tough it was at the plate. How much has he grown?
Yeah, this season has been amazing. You know, just what he did those first 2 months of the season. And obviously, I don't think anybody can keep up with that pace. But just what he was able to do. And then on top of that, the type of defense he's playing in center field. He's such a great fit for this ball club. And I'm happy for him. I think everybody's happy for him for what he's able to do, and he's going to be a big part of the Dodgers' plans in October, so he's going to get another chance at it, and I think he's going to do great.
Well, we know about the defense, famously in the World Series.
Yeah, he turned Kike Hernandez into a crash dummy.
And a bobblehead doll.
Yes.
Yeah. How about both teams? These are two generally strong two-strike slugging teams, but it's been all singles for the offense so far, as that's wanded to third and Durbin to retire the side. The Dodgers bring up 8 and score 3. Sunday Night Baseball on NBC is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. A couple of World Series meetings between Boston and these Dodgers. It was 1916 when the Red Sox took on the Brooklyn Robins at the time. And Babe Ruth, in his postseason debut, threw a 14-inning complete game in Game 2. First game of the postseason on the mound. 14-inning complete game.
I have no words.
A lot of pitches.
That's a lot of pitches. That's a lot of ups and downs to get stiff in between innings when you're hitting. He probably extended the offensive side too.
Cedar Rafaela lays into another one. Deep left field. He's done it again. My goodness, number 4 in 3 days for Rafaela. He is a beast.
He is locked in here in LA. That's his 7th home run post the All-Star break. 2nd in baseball. You mentioned, are they going to throw him in off speed? Yesterday was a couple of hanging splits from Yamamoto. This time here it looked like a little spinner. Stayed inner half, and just that swing is short. Little guy's got some thunder in those hands.
First pitch swing by Abreu, and he absolutely torments this baseball. Four-3 Boston. The Red Sox keep going back-to-back on the West Coast.
Lou, you saw in game 1 when they fell behind and you're thinking, you know what, this is going to test their mettle. Well, this whole series, they've responded.
This whole month, like it's been like this for some time. You're right. Maybe you think the Dodgers have just overwhelmed them and they just answer home runs, back-to-back pitches. He and Abreu and Rafaela. Rafa didn't have enough time to put the Wally head on. He had to hand it back.
He just made it to the end of the dugout, and here's a first pitch swing, high fly ball, end of the bat shot for Contreras. And it's Pages over to make the catch.
This is the Cedon swing again. He knew it. He's just been absolutely locked in. And really kind of building a resume as Mr. Clutch here. He's the guy you want up at the plate. And this man, after a little rut, he gets that hit in the first at bat. Like I said, it's a good sign because, boy, when he gets hot, he can do this 4 or 5 times in a series.
You know, not everybody is always built to pull the ball, and not every pitch is built to pull, but that's where the homers are. And since June, Abreu's been pulling it more, and we've seen more of that.
And a good off a righty, too. It's hard to explain. He's hitting .336 off lefties, .206 versus righties.
That is hard to explain.
And the swing gets so long against righties. He gets beat a lot, heaters up. But against lefties, he keeps the shoulder in. He stays short. The ball's going away from him. He keeps it up the middle. Righties, just a little long.
I mean, to your point, Lou, off the top of the show, they've done the little things in the first inning, and then they go grand here in the third inning with back-to-back homers.
Yeah, you looked at July, and they were like middle of the pack, tied for 10th in home runs. So they hit more home runs because they've been dead last all year. 13 sack bunts, led all of baseball by a wide margin. So it's a combination of both.
That one's hit pretty well. Deep right field, Yoshida to the pole. It is gone. A Red Sox barrage in the third. Somebody go get Wally again.
Contreras went to the plate swinging at the first pitch, flew out to left, and he looked at the bench like, I almost got it to get 3 in a row there, but take one out and Yoshida gets it done.
It's only his 5th of the year. But Masa, he's a professional hitter. These Sox bats waking up here in the third. He did strike out the side in the second, right?
Yeah, what an all over the place evening for Emmett Sheehan so far.
It's good to see him turn on the heater. A lot of times when he hits homers, he kind of scoops them. There'll be changeups down and in, sliders down and in, but to turn on the heater and barrel this thing, get it in the air. Impressive swing from Masa.
It's a ground ball to shortstop. Mookie Betts for round number 2. The Red Sox could set a Guinness World Record in this half inning for most people, different people, with a furry green monster head on in one 30-minute span. We're checking.
I'll let you submit that.
You've never liked paperwork.
No.
By the way, only 11 pitches.
Yeah, it was 3 homers in a 7-pitch span.
Just keeping the pitch count down.
It's always a silver lining.
The first inning last night against Yamamoto, there were 2 outs and a home run in 5 pitches.
It is unreal what this team's done. Boston has won 24 straight games, scoring 4 or more. They've also won 13 straight against teams with winning records. That is very hard to do without off days, especially in Major League Baseball when your bullpen gets backed up. Monasterio gets plunked. Jack Dreyer is already warming in the Dodger bullpen.
You know, Kirsch, you talked about every player as a manager and every player second guesses, and I think this is one of the discussions on a bench between players that everybody's saying, you think it was on purpose? You think it wasn't on purpose? What, you know, and everybody disagrees on this one too.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, I mean, that definitely wasn't on purpose, but sometimes the situation makes it look really bad, right? Like he just gave up 3 homers, and Obviously, he was in the middle of it at bat. He's not trying to do that, but that might have been a shower ball there, or he might be done for the day.
Yeah.
Looks like it. Dave Roberts coming out to the mound, and he will take the baseball. Jack Dreyer will come in. The Red Sox have a 5-3 lead. Eric Skubal has made it into the building to say hello to his manager, who just made a pitching change, but Dave Roberts has a moment to talk to the new guy. That is a sight that Dodger fans have got to love, and for Tiger fans, if they're watching this telecast, it is very weird.
Kirsch, you're down there. How's he look in the Dodger blue?
It's weird. It looks real weird, but I think everybody around here will get used to it pretty fast.
That was just now, just moments ago. Tarik Skubal got here from Sacramento, where the Tigers were playing. And so he is here meeting his new teammates. That is just a strange sight in the first place. There's a game going on, and Tarik Skubal is tapping people on the shoulder to say, "Hi, I'm Tarik. Nice to meet you."
Kirsch, you got to know him a little bit as a teammate in the WBC.
Yeah, I got to play with him. It was really fun, man. Like that whole team was special to get to do that. But Scoobs is great. He's a great teammate. He's a lot of fun. He loves pitching. He loves to talk pitching. And he really wants to get better. That'll work. Double play there.
Betts for out number 3, and that'll retire the side. More on Skubal as the night wears on. But the Red Sox hit 3 homers in the 3rd inning to take a 5-3 lead at Dodger Stadium. Back to Dodger Stadium. It is 5-3 Boston. The Red Sox are the hottest team in Major League Baseball, and it's not even close. They're going for a sweep tonight against the Dodgers, who are tied for the best record in all of baseball with the Brewers. And you have outfielders out there just spinning their gloves on their hand. That's how the Dodgers and Red Sox, that's how the Red Sox feel right now. It's just, hey, we hang out at the ballpark and we win games.
Well, that last half inning was really an important offensive inning, and it makes this one for the Dodgers even more important because of the shadows and the Boston bullpen. So if you're looking at this individual game, the 3 home runs, outstanding, and now you have the shadows creeping in, and so offense is going to get a lot harder as we move on.
How long does that last here, Oral?
It's going to last for almost the rest of the game, because you're going to end up then it's going to creep to the pitcher, but the batter's eye is still going to be in sunlight. 1985, I had 5 of these starts, and that's why my ERA that year was 2.03.
Oh, come on.
People couldn't see the ball for 5 innings.
Let me ask you your picture in that situation, because I felt as a hitter, changeup was the toughest thing for me to see. I know you didn't throw one, but spin, right?
Spin.
Late spin.
Anything I could make the ball originate one place and end up another place was the best pitch. And I would check with my hitters all the time, even though I got to hit in the 9 hole, but early, I'm like, tell me about the vision right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
2-0 from Bennett. That's in for a strike.
Kirsch, did you get any of these games with the bad lighting?
Yeah, it's awesome.
For you guys.
But yeah, Oral, I couldn't really change anything. I just did. I only had 3 pitches, so I just kept throwing the same 3 and hope for the best.
Fly ball center field. Rafaela is going to have to use that glove, and he makes the catch.
So you didn't think about throwing more sliders because that was the spin and it originates one place and ends up at their back foot?
They didn't have to tell me to throw more sliders, Oral. I was always throwing sliders. I just kept throwing them. Hey, but did you see Rafaela right there in center field? He made that look so easy, but he turned 3 different ways and like it was nothing. I would have fallen over backwards trying to do that. Like that is just. Obviously he's a Gold Glove center fielder, but that was pretty impressive.
He's smooth. You get accustomed to just seeing great play. You know, one thing makes him great out there too, because he's a really good middle infielder. This kid played shortstop, you know, earlier in his career, a little bit of second base for the Red Sox at times. So that infielder comes out, they'll be able to cut a ball off in the gaps and throw it on a run like it's a ball in the hole from the shortstop.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then he takes his eyes off the ball to turn all the way around like that. Like that's he made that look way easier than it is.
And then he just dropped his glove while you were saying that.
Yeah, well, we're all human. You know?
Yeah, that's right. But what a slick spin. So casual and easy.
It's the best outfield defensively in the game, and those two in particular. And Jaron's done a really nice job in left this year, but center field and right field, it's not just the diving catches that they make. It's the balls, the doubles that they cut off that turn into singles. It's the first and seconds instead of first and thirds because they have plus arms. It's other things other than just the great catches that you often see in the highlights.
Yeah, that's a big deal in Fenway, too. Center field's a tough center field to play there.
Here's Rafaela from earlier this year at Fenway Park on how he visualizes out in center.
The first thing is I want the ball to come to me. I imagine plays before it happened. Yeah, I want the ball to come to me, and then you pre-pitch consistent with the pre-pitch and the first step. I think that's the main key.
He imagines the ball coming to him before it plays.
Anticipation. Same thing with the guy out in right. 2-time Gold Glove winner out there in Abreu too, but their anticipation and wanting to make great plays.
1-2, nice take there by Tucker as Bennett went to the off speed. 2-2.
He's a highlight film in center field, even in between pitches. The way he spins his glove, he's spinning it like a basketball on his finger.
There's a little globetrotter in there. A little bit.
It's like watching Steph Curry get ready for a game.
There it is. It's amazing because the first step is so locked in. The switch flips fast. 3-2. That is ball 4 and a challenge. Narvaez challenged immediately. And we'll see. It's either ball 4 or strike 3. It is strike 3. An ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile gets the Red Sox off the field.
As we just saw, the newest Dodger, Tarek Skubal, is in the house, not in uniform yet, but in the house and part of the Dodger rotation soon. The fact that the Tigers felt they couldn't keep him in free agency and had to trade him, and the Dodgers are the team that winds up with him, maybe long-term unless a salary cap comes. is taken as evidence by some that, in fact, the owner's position, MLB needs a salary cap. But a counterpoint that the Players Association will surely use, and one offered this weekend in The Athletic and the New York Times by our colleague Ken Rosenthal, is that teams like the Rays and Brewers, low revenue teams, are perpetual contenders. In fact, they're leading their respective divisions, and the Rays lead a tough American League East. The Brewers, as a matter of fact, have the same record as the Dodgers, the best record in baseball. And a larger point, I might throw this in as well, the Mets, with a huge payroll, are terrible and in last place. And the Yankees, always seemingly a contender, money to spend, have been to the World Series exactly once, pardon me, since 2009. But the larger point this year is this. More than 2/3 of the 30 teams in the major leagues have a realistic shot at making the playoffs, and here we are in early August. The third wild card, 3 divisions, with teams generally with modest payrolls clustered in the central divisions. That's 10 out of 30. That's changed the whole dynamic. It doesn't mean that the owners don't have a case. It does mean, Jason, that the players, the Scooble trade notwithstanding, the Players Association has a counter argument.
Well, it also means that you have teams who are right now, as our game is going on, Bob, deciding whether or not they're buyers or sellers.
Yes.
Right now. Because of that wild card situation, especially in the American League. But, you know, begrudging the Dodgers for going for it is going to be some people's choice. But don't you want to be in a league where a team wants to assemble the best talent?
Well, it isn't just that the Dodgers have huge monetary resources. They're a tremendous quality organization up and down. The quality of their minor leagues, the instruction there, even their medical and training staffs. So they're always in a position to improve what already is an excellent team. On the other hand, there will be people who say that even resourceful teams, like the Rays and Brewers as an example, can't hold on to many of their signature stars. And even if they remain contenders, that's disorienting for a fan base. Hey, we want to keep our guys. We want to keep the core of our team. That's a counter argument from the owners.
Ball 4 to Narvaez, and that'll all work itself out in the next however long.
We just all hope and pray that there's no stoppage, that they can figure it out before the games are at risk. And my theory is a high tide raises all ships, and I love it when people are attempting to get better every single day. That's the culture in Los Angeles. They don't always talk about the economics. The fan base has supported the organization in so many ways to give them the flexibility to do things. We are the bobblehead capital of the world. We give away more bobbleheads than anyone.
Kersh's is coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Got another bobblehead coming. Yeah, it's exciting. You know, I don't get to come back to Dodger Stadium too much, so anytime, you know, that I can come and bring the boys or bring the kiddos out is really special, and I'm excited for that night. It's in a couple weeks, so it'll be fun.
Did you approve the design?
You know, we don't get a lot of say, but I will say this one it looks okay. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure.
Are you going to throw out your own first pitch?
Oh, Oral, good question. I have 3 boys that would be really mad if I took their spotlight. So I'll see. We might have to do a big game of rock, paper, scissors or something. But
no, just have all 3 throw it.
Yeah, see, I've done that too. I've gone back and forth on this. This is what happens when you retire. You got a lot of time to think about stuff. But we'll see. They're going to be excited to be out there, and I'm excited for them too. It'll be fun.
I'd love to know how you decide which one. That's going to be an interesting household.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of competition.
Oral's probably right. We just have to go all 3.
Well, Deion Sanders rates his kids. So, Kersh.
They're watching right now. They're watching right now for sure.
Deion famously was like, well, today, you know, Shadeur is on the list here and this and that. So. Strike 1 to Raffaello, who is just, I mean, at 25, he's chasing less at the plate, but he's also, you saw it in the quick soundbite we played for you. He is such a nice young man, such a joyful baseball player from Curacao, which since Andrew Jones has churned out so many baseball players to the majors. he's an easy guy to root for.
Yeah, I was really happy that he made the All-Star team. You know, at the time when they were talking about it, this team was 14 games under, and you're like, how many can make it? I think Sonny Gray 100% should have. So you already had some representatives, but this is the kind of guy, he doesn't have to hit 300 with 20 homers at the break to be an All-Star. With how he plays defensively and what he brings to you offensively, he was an All-Star. I think well-deserved one this year.
Being around him, what would you say his personality is like for the people at home?
Just fun. Fun. Always has a smile on his face. Always. Loves the big moments. Loves doing post-game interviews. He loves the big moments.
Maybe Kirsch will talk to him after the game. We have Clayton down there. He's going to have a microphone.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
1-2 on Rafaela. That ball's in the dirt. There goes Narvaez. He peels away, and he is there. Good read by Narvaez, and a bit chancy, but he made it happen.
Little things, right? It's the little things that they do. Narvi's not a base stealer, so if you're not going to steal bases, look for a ball in the dirt. Try to get a good read on a dirt ball to get in the scoring position, especially with a lefty. He does just that.
He had a good secondary lead, and as the ball started to get away, he was reading the distance it was getting away and really changed gears then.
2-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball from Dreyer. And back-to-back strikeouts with the wild one in between. And now Abreu, who homered on the first pitch he saw back in the third.
As I mentioned, you see a lot of teams bring lefties in to face Abreu, and you know, the splits, I don't know what point you just sort of ignore and just go with what you think, but he's hitting 336 off lefties. Gives you really good quality at bat. Last year he didn't play against lefties. He didn't play. He had a few occasional at bats. Maybe Cora would leave him in a little bit, but they started looking more quality as the year went on. In the offseason, he really did some training in the offseason to face these guys every single day, and look how it's paid off.
And the whole time he still keeps up his barbershop business.
Yeah.
He owns a barbershop in Maracaibo, Venezuela, while he's hitting homers in the big leagues.
Started doing some haircuts in the minors, right? Started getting good at it.
I love the open stance, and I love the fact that he gets his head turned around and gets both eyes on the pitcher.
Strong.
Why, Oral?
Well, a lot of guys kind of get into that peek around the corner when they're trying to keep their shoulder closed, and they're only looking at the pitcher, kind of one eye over the nose and one eye gets the pitcher. But he does a very nice job of starting his swing load and keeping his head in that position with both eyes from where the ball's coming.
One, two. Fouled away.
You can just see as the front leg comes up and he gets ready to take his stride and his load, that head is staying with that same angle, so he's getting perfect information from his eyes to his brain.
Yeah, you know, Oral, it's such a strong setup too. He could actually hit from right here. Like, you know, with all the power in the game, he's already like, and he just sort of leans back a little bit, little hand movement.
I've just been around so many left-handed hitters that talk about, you know, I'm trying to keep my shoulder in, I'm trying to keep my shoulder in, but as you watch them load, and all of a sudden they're really not looking at the ball correctly. They're not getting both eyes on it. And if they get to a point where they can stay closed and keep their head turned, they get a lot better information.
High fly ball center field. Pa has his back. Abreu did not miss by much. 5-3 Boston. Time for flashback presented by USAA. The 1946 Boston Red Sox won 15 in a row. Huge crowd, by the way, 64-183. Ted Williams, the MVP, and the Red Sox went to take on the Cardinals in a 7-game World Series. in 1946. This Boston team this year also won 15 in a row. Kind of out of nowhere, Lou. We saw you right around when that streak was starting. They weren't hitting. They weren't using the green monster. Now they're the best team in baseball in the last 25.
They weren't scoring runs, especially at Fenway Park. They had the worst home record of anybody in baseball, and it's Fenway, and they weren't scoring there. It all starts with starting pitching. I think we all know that, and that's the first half of that run. That's what it was. But halfway through, Suarez gets hurt, Early gets hurt, Patrick Sandoval comes back. He's going 4 or 5 innings. There was a lot of bullpen games in shorts from starters. There were nights you say, we got guys down, and they would still win a lot. And the rotation was a little bit in flux, but their bullpen has just been absolutely lights out in the month of July, and still yesterday.
2-2 on Hernandez, and you have the backdrop as the trade deadline. So we will see tomorrow what both of these teams look like when they wake up on Tuesday. It feels like the Red Sox could use a little bit more power, which is a thing we would say before tonight's game. But then they've gone and hit 3 homers in 1 inning.
Well, Craig Breslow cashed in 1 chip with Conley early and acquired Curtis Mead with 17 home runs from the Nationals. In his second at bat in Sacramento, got hit by a pitch and broke his wrist. So there's a chance he comes back at the end of the year, but if you believe the reports, they may be in on a catcher, shortstop, starting pitcher, I think, because young guys like Bennett, the innings are getting up there.
Fly ball right field, driving Abreu back to the track, and he meets the wall. That looked like it was going to be a clean catch without any boundary testing. And it's out number 1 nonetheless. The World's Game returns. New rivalries, new storylines, one chase for Premier League glory. Football's biggest stars will take center stage when a new season begins August 22nd on NBC and Peacock. Nice catch by Abreu. 1 away. I think one of my favorite things about Premier League coverage and the British accent is ending sentences with that. So you'd say, nice catch, that. Beautiful tie, that.
Really?
You gotta give a gold call. Or like a home run. Like their gold calls to me are fantastic.
You want me to just
go.
Let it rip and
Just
have
let
it
it
be
rip,
like a
Jason.
15-syllable deal?
Please.
If there's another home run in this broadcast.
Will you all jump in with me?
No. I can't hold my breath that long.
If that was a homer, it would have been the greatest comedic timing in the history of television. Fly ball to left, Jaron Duran is underneath. We are so glad to have you along. Oral Hershiser, Lou Merlone, downstairs, Clayton Kershaw. What a booth here tonight. Gentlemen, 2 of the best teams in baseball going that we're watching here this evening.
The hottest team in baseball against what people would say is the best team in baseball that just got better with Tarek Skubal. So yeah, this is an amazing time, an amazing stadium to be seeing this in, and these 2 teams going at it. It's been fantastic.
I always say when 162 game schedule, it's when you catch a team. Right, a team in April, May are different than July, August, whatever it may be. And right now, the Sox team, you're coming into LA thinking, you know, let's get one and just sort of move on to the deadline. Yeah. And they got an opportunity here right now, leading this ball game, to sweep the Dodgers after already sweeping the Yankees, Rays, White Sox, and the American League over the course of the last month.
Is it starting to get to be the time where we talk about the American League East being a 3-team race?
Baltimore's trying. We saw them last week. They're playing good baseball.
Oh, I was just including the Rays. I think the Yankees and Rays have been thinking of it as a 2-team race.
Well, oh no, it's 3 now.
Into right, Abreu tracks this one down as well. Bennett's retired 7 in a row and a Red Sox lead to the 5th.
Get exclusive access to tickets for every MLB game, so you can watch your favorite team take the field. Hey, what's the score?
The 5th inning here at Dodger Stadium, and the Dodgers are back into the bullpen. Evan Phillips In 7 1/3 so far, the 31-year-old will take the mound to face Wilson Contreras, Masataka Yoshida, and Caleb Durbin as the Red Sox have 3 homers in the 3rd inning, 3 solo homers within 7 pitches. And Dave Roberts having to reach into the bag in the bullpen a couple of times here tonight. Kirsch. Evan Phillips went to high school in Clayton, North Carolina.
Wow, we didn't talk about that. I didn't know
been?
that. I haven't been. Is it nice?
Sure.
Okay.
Southeast of Raleigh. Sure, it's lovely.
Well, I'll tell you what, Evan coming back off of Tommy John surgery, this is earlier in the ball game than I think most people expect him to be, because when he's right, he's a back-end weapon for these guys, and so he's still getting back into the swing of things. But the numbers aren't there yet, but his stuff actually looks really, really good. His sinker, 4-seam sweeper, he's got a lot for righties, and then he'll use that cutter against left. So he's like that pitch right there is really tough to lay off. That was a really good sweeper.
The individual pitches, he will tell you, are all there, and they feel great. He's just trying to find the range to be more consistent, hit his spots.
Yeah, I like the way he throws. He just is so deliberate with his mechanics, and I mean that's just a pretty fastball right there. It's really pretty.
When you say deliberate with his mechanics, Clayton, what do you mean?
That's a good question. How do I explain that? I think more than anything, it's like it's consistency. It's like he knows what he's doing. There's no rush. You know, you heard Earl talk about patience over the rubber. I think it's just like there's a lot of things that are in sync and on time when he does it right. And you know, there's just guys that when you watch throw, it just like looks like a ball should be coming out of your hand. And when Evan throws it right, it kind of looks like that for me.
There's a lot of precision to his movements. That repeatability that Clayton's talking about, he's just repeating everything, and it's the pacing of the delivery, the precision of the height of the leg kick, and what he does with his hands and when he breaks his hands. It's very precise, each and every one. But it's not as abrupt, you know, stop and start like Yamamoto. It has some athleticism to his delivery.
He's got out number 1 on a fly ball to Tucker. Here's the delivery you're talking about, Earl.
Well, Clayton, he scouted perfectly where Evan is coming back from the Tommy John surgery, and the stuff is off the charts, however you want to evaluate it, with the eye test or with the computers. It's just the consistency he's looking for. And this is a fun day for him to pitch, though, with this lighting. You're going to feel like you're hitting every spot.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that when he's right, he should be able to get right and left out. You know, obviously he's got the turbo sinker for the righties and the sweeper, but he's got the really good 4-seam to the glove side. He's got the cutter to the left. So a guy that Doc, you know, in big situations in October will be able to trust to get both sides out is the goal. And I don't think he's too far off from being that same guy he was before Tommy John.
That bullpen will be very interesting as it goes right back to Phillips, who snares it for out number 2. More about that after this.
With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Orel Hershiser, Lou Merlone, Clayton Kershaw, Jason Benetti, our entire crew. It's almost a foregone conclusion the Dodgers are going to have some starting pitchers in their bullpen in the postseason, considering the success they've had with it in the past.
Yes. The bullpen in the postseason is probably the most important part of the team, because if you have a chance to win a game, and you should win the game, that game has so much value. And who's in your bullpen and who you can trust, who has the pulse for those moments, that's the most important thing. And we have 2 outs and 2 strikes. This is a huge subject, though, for the Dodgers that we should probably talk about, which is the building of a trust tree.
Yeah.
And how that is going on right now in the regular season when you're watching your team. Who are you going to then trust in a game 7, in a game 5, with the game on the line?
More on that when we come back. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Phillips, halfway home, 5-3. Batter up with FanDuel as we take a look at the same game parlay. Shohei Ohtani in his third plate appearance, he was intentionally walked, and he singled on the first pitch he saw. So he's only seen one pitch tonight. And the second one is one of those cutters from Bennett.
Yeah, a big inning here for Bennett, right? Third time through the order. Kind of really lost the zone in that second inning. The inning he got in trouble, but he's found it the last couple. But you see there, third time through the order, the average jumps up to 314. There's times when he has trouble holding velocity. He starts the game a lot of times 93, 94. You may see a 95. Then all of a sudden he starts settling into 91, 92s. And even with that extension, it's still 3 miles an hour is a big difference for hitters.
Ohtani chases. There's been more of that, and whether it's the knee, the bicep has been an issue as well, although it seems like he could pitch but for the knee at this point. He has been away from pitching, Oral, since July the 3rd.
It'll be interesting when they decide to put him back on the hill. And
strike three looked like it might have been worth a challenge.
That ball's wide. But Kirsch, you know, the challenge of Ohtani rehabbing at the big league level, right? Compared to he can't go down to the minors.
Yeah, that pitch right there, by the way, was perfect. You know, like you said, borderline ball, but just a little bit off. But yeah, when Shohei tries to start ramping up again, they kind of ran into this last year. Is that, you know, he ramps up one time a day and he's got a hit in the game. So it's like, well, I'm not going to throw a sim game to rehab and then cool down and then try to hit in the game. He kind of prefers to do it all at one time. So that usually means rehabbing during the game, in essence, you know, pitching 1 or 2 innings in the game to open and then have the bullpen come in after that. So it's just a unique situation when you talk about Shohei and what he has to do to build back up for pitching. And I don't envy it. I don't know how he does it and keeps it all straight and actually does it at an elite level like he does. So but yeah, that's what the battle is when he comes back here in the next couple weeks or whenever it may be.
Well, and Oral was talking before the break about the trust tree, right, for teams going to the playoffs, for the Dodgers very likely going to the playoffs once again. You have that trust in Shohei Ohtani when he is on the mound, so that is one guy who's as close to a guarantee that you don't have right now on your staff.
Yes, and the trust tree begins with him. He might be the trunk. You know, and then you've got other different sized branches, as Lou said in our meeting as we left before the game. But I think that players, coaches, especially the manager, he has to build that in his mind to get ready for the playoffs. And with the Dodgers, you've phrased it even perfectly by saying it's almost like an extended spring training for them. What are they actually playing for individually and as a team? And what are they looking at when they watch the game?
Yeah, and that's, you know, the big picture of this team. And I think Doc does a great job of just motivating this really, really good roster, right? Obviously, very talented roster. Everybody thinks.
Inside out swing. It's a ground ball to second base. And Sogard with an exceptional effort. What a play by Sogard.
And Nick's beautiful play here. You know, Nick's one of these guys, the more you watch him, the more you like him, right? He may not have that one tool that pops off the page, but this kid knows how to play baseball. Switch hitter. He can play some defense up the middle of the field for you. And again, part of that grind, part of that toughness. But as we said, this Dodgers team is so talented that it's like 162 game extended spring to where you can bring Phillips in the 5th and just try to get him right over the next couple of months, to where you can actually rehab Shohei Ohtani in a big league game on the mound. They're going to be in the postseason. They have so much talent. Let's try to get right in September, whether it's Snell and Glasnow.
That's what a 10-game lead in the division affords you. Monasterio, slick play as well, the middle infield. Flash in the leather for the Red Sox. 10 in a row for Bennett thanks to this from Monasterio. The ultimate goal of an MLB fan, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweepstakes.
It's a great promotion and a great thing to win, but you won't have a job when you get back.
That's a great point. It's a lot of leave you have to take.
You have 30 years to do it.
Right? Call your boss. Hey, I won this contest. I'm gonna have to be at Target Field on Tuesday. Can I work remotely?
I need 6 months off.
Frank, you're an auto mechanic. 1-1 on Monasterio and a swing and a miss. Kyle Hurt is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. He's the 4th pitcher for Dave Roberts.
Good slider there.
One, two. It's fouled away. Red Sox going for a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers here tonight. 9-4 and 3-2 the scores so far in the series. They were 32-46 on June the 24th.
Really crazy.
46.
I remember that too, and as he started to win ball games, thinking at 32-46, we're actually going to win our 50th game before we lose 50, which I never thought would be possible at that point, and they did.
Late swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody other than, say, a front office and everybody in that clubhouse, players, managers, you name it, coaching staff, believed that something like this was possible. This is off the charts.
For any organization.
For any organization. You just said, can it happen? I guess it's baseball, but I don't know offensively if they can do enough to put a run like this together, and they have. And you give them all the credit in the world.
And they've done it without the big season from a couple years ago from Jarren Duran.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has not had the same offensive production that he's provided them in the past, but still they're putting up those numbers.
He's had an extremely frustrating season. You see the average under 200. But there has been some hard contact, doesn't play for him. He's had 13 home runs, 56 RBIs. In scoring position, he's hitting 280 with an 898-93 OPS. That's who you're hoping he was. It's just that with nobody on, and he's just struggling to get hits. A lot of rollovers, a lot of chase, swing and miss. But the potential is there, and it keeps him out there because he can change a game.
On 2 strikes, fly ball right field. Jarren Duran did change the score. Just like that.
Well, he might not be able to turn around his personal year, but if Boston gets in the playoffs, he could change his life.
Or at least the whole thing. Like the first 3.5, 4 months don't matter. It's, baseball players. It doesn't matter. What he does in this month of August does. What he does his next at bat, the next day, September, could have a huge October. Again, the potential, as you saw what he did in 2024 with some of those numbers, it's through the roof. You're just sort of waiting for that to come out and put together a month.
Look, he's you know him, Lou. He's a highly emotional player. You see it out there on the field, but when he is at his best, he's a huge spark.
He is. He turns singles into doubles, doubles into triples. He ignites everybody, plays every single day. He can be enormous for this lineup because they've really been going here. Occasional one of these, but for the most part, not really consistent from him.
That is a season high, 4 home runs in a game for the Red Sox, and we have just 1 out in the 6th. They came into tonight 27th in the league, 107 home runs. If this is going to look like that, we'll see what they do add at the deadline to this group. That's off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you wear a baseball uniform for a profession, one of the dirtiest words you'll hear is prospect.
Agreed.
Because if you are a player and you are called a prospect, you have not reached your potential. And if you have made it to the big leagues and reached your potential, and they tell you we don't want to make this trade to help you win a world championship because we don't want to lose our prospects, it's a dirty word there too.
Yeah, and this is the pitch here. Look like a changeup, just kind of left up that Duran left. the yard on. That was his 14th of the year. But you're right, or we were talking about before the game. Guys in these clubhouses, they don't care about the prospects. No, I don't care about a kid that's going to help us out in 3 years. I don't. I could be out of here in 3 years. My career could be over. I could be traded. I could sign somewhere else. Get me somebody that can help my team out in August and September. It's the GM's job to worry about the future, but the manager and the players improve the club.
So you feel that around the deadline in the clubhouse?
Absolutely. It's good conversations, too. We don't want to give up this prospect in Double-A or A-ball. It's not going to help us out for 3 or 4 years.
Especially when the average major league lifespan is a couple seasons. Like stars stick around for 17, 20 years, whatever it might be, but the average lifespan of a player is only a handful of seasons.
Kirsch, can you talk about the vibe in the clubhouse around the trade deadline?
Well, yeah, you guys nailed it on the head. You know, I think when you're in the thick of it, and you know, you're rolling through the days of August, having the trade deadline to look forward to, and you know, when you're in the heat of a playoff race, to add some new blood into the clubhouse, it's exciting. You know, you obviously don't want to lose any of your teammates, but at the same time, when you see somebody rolling in that, like a Tarek Skubal or like a Freddie Peralta or like a Luis Castillo, some of these guys that got traded today, that's exciting. It means that your management, your front office, everybody's in it. They want to win, and it's just exciting all the way around, and the vice versa. You know, when the trade deadline rolls around and nothing happens, even if you were the Dodgers and you probably didn't need to add Tarek Skubal, there'd probably be a little bit of a disappointment that nothing happened, you know, and that's a lot of pressure to put on Andrew in the front office and things like that. But that's kind of the expectation they've set, is that trade deadline rolls around, somebody's going to be walking through that clubhouse that's going to help us.
To that point, there are some reports online right now from a couple of folks. Bob mentioned Ken Rosenthal earlier. Ken, part of the report that Kevin Gausman is going to the Cubs at this moment. That's the way it's going to go over the next 24 hours. If your phone rings, you might be leaving, like this baseball. Jarren Duran, the 4th Red Sox homer, 6-3.
Back at Dodger Stadium, where the red-hot Red Sox lead 6-3, hoping to sweep the weekend series from the Dodgers. Jason, want to give a shout-out here to a couple of our teammates on this Sunday night broadcast, beginning with Clayton Kershaw. Now, everybody knows Clayton was a cinch to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, MVP, 3-time Cy Young Award winner. But here's something, as we take a look at humble Clayton down below, here's something that isn't mentioned often enough. Since the advent of the lively ball in 1920, of all starters in the history of the game over more than a century with 200 starts or more, we'll get to him in a minute. Clayton Kershaw has the highest career winning percentage at .699 and the best career ERA at 2.53. Now, our other teammate tonight up in the booth with you, Oral Hershiser, has a Cy Young of his own, one of the most epic seasons ever in 1988, capped it by being the World Series MVP with 2 victories over the A's. But all of that pales alongside what will happen on August 13th when he receives a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, think of the company he is joining. Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, Vin Scully, Mickey Mouse. Really, there's nothing you can do for an encore, Oral. After this, it's downhill.
What do you get the guy who has everything?
Way to go, Oral.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That is
awesome.
Fantastic.
That is really
It
cool.
is a nice addition to the resume, and I'm totally humbled. And there are going to be more Hollywood stars on the dais speaking and in the audience. But I guess I'm the first. But Clayton should get one someday. Bob should get one someday.
For sure.
It's just crazy when you look at the people that have received them and accepted them, and then the support that I've gotten since being named to get one. And Clayton revealed a secret to me today that he was going to come, and Bob revealed a secret to me that he was going to MC, and some other friends are coming, so it's going to be quite a celebration, and I'm going to have a long list of people to thank.
It's very cool. I mean, do they do them alphabetically though? Are you going to be in between like Kevin Hart and Pee Wee Herman? Where are you going to be?
I don't know, because that has to be a secret. I'm not allowed to go and watch the installation. I'm not allowed to be there. But one of the most amazing God things that happened is my scoreless streak in '88 extended 8 extra innings against the Mets. So instead of 59, it was 67. And my number on my uniform was 55, because that was the only number that was left back in those days.
Ground ball to third. Durbin steps through it, and the turn by Sogard for a double play. The Red Sox infield and outfield defense, tremendous once again.
Fantastic, other than earlier when we saw the ball in shortstop, but that might have been shaded by the umpire while we didn't see the same effort. But the last part of that story, and then we'll move on to this game for sure. And thank you, Bob, for bringing it up. And Clayton, amazing that you have that winning percentage. But 6755 is the address on Hollywood Boulevard where my star is going to be.
Really?
Wow.
Wow. The length of the scoreless streak.
How about that?
And the number on my uniform. And the committee did not choose that way. They had no idea.
Well, it's quite an honor.
It's unbelievable.
It's brilliant. It is really unbelievable. Now I'm waiting for Bob to kind of, okay, Bob, go ahead, go through my numbers. Go through my, is he going to go through my career next? It was a.
Don't you have a star on the Framingham Walk of Fame?
I think so, my town.
Bob, do you have your speech ready yet?
I do not, but I'm going through Baseball Reference right now to brush up on Lou Merlone.
They're the all-time streaks. Bob, wow. I mean, you were calling baseball at this time. How good was Oral Hershiser then?
Completely lights out. And you know, on the pregame show before Game 1 of that '88 World Series, when we announced that Kirk Gibson would not even be announced, wouldn't suit up, and then in something that was as theatrical and dramatic and cinematic as anything I've ever seen in baseball, he comes hobbling out of the clubhouse and into the dugout, and Vin Scully's amazing call in a year that has been so improbable the impossible has happened. But we thought that if the Dodgers could steal Game 1, they had a chance even against the mighty 104-win A's, because Hershiser was waiting. He couldn't pitch Game 1 because he pitched a complete game in Game 7 against the Mets in the LCS. He was waiting to pitch Game 2. He beat the A's, so now you're going to go on a break. They don't let me finish the story. I'll be back
after this. In his first game at Fenway Park, Oral Hershiser will reside next to Buddy Holly forever for always, and Clayton Kershaw has 3 Cy Youngs downstairs. Bob, finish your story.
You know, it's so annoying, Jason, how a present game interrupts a reminiscence of something nearly 4 decades old. But nonetheless, after Gibson's miracle, Hershiser beats the A's in Game 2, comes back in Game 5, pitches a complete game for the clincher. He's the MVP of the World Series, on top of being the Cy Young Award winner. Not all Cy Youngs are created equal. That's one of the great Cy Young seasons of all time.
Thank you, Bob. And I still would rather have Clayton's winning percentage.
Oh, stop. Everybody can be good. 2-0 from Justin Slayton to Hernandez. And a foul ball right side. The Dodgers have gone stagnant offensively, in part because of Jake Bennett, who was phenomenal as he closed his night.
It's just the way he's been all year. But, you know, this one was a little different, right? Gave up 3 in the second. You love to see it. Kind of veteran-like, really kind of putting them down the next 3 innings, 1, 2, 3. Now you go to Slayton, who's been really good, scoreless his last 9 appearances. Part of this bullpen that was #1 in the month of July. They were just absolutely fantastic, and have been all year long.
Just a hair better than the Brewers in July. As the 2-2 is scorched up the middle. It's another dive by Sogard, and he's got it. Aces again by Sogard. Goodness. Lou, what are we doing tonight?
Boys can play.
Every on-market MLB game plus MLB Network 24/7. Now available at a new low price, $94.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Nick Sogard with an exceptional effort to keep the score 6-3. That is Steve Sax's nephew at second base with a phenomenal defensive play. The former Dodger, among others.
He covers games with the A's. He was up in Sacramento when Nick got called up. It's impressive defense here in this infield.
0-2. Rafaela takes high. He homered earlier back in the third. See the company Rafaela is keeping right now, with that power that's showing up. Two and two. In there, strike three. It's a challenge from Rafaela. I don't know that he's going to like the result of that, guys.
Well, as great as he has been this year, when it comes to challenges, he is now 6 for 22.
Call's correct. Boston has one remaining.
Out of everybody that had challenges, he is 477th out of 478.
Oh boy.
It's not his strength, but he's a great player and a great defender.
It is not the kneecap, it's the hollow of the knee, that little soft spot below your kneecap. That is where the strike zone ends. So some of those can look low, but they're still strikes.
It's uniform for every hitter. It's a percentage of your height up and down.
It's a big discussion in spring training. Like tall guys in a crouch. You know, how are we going to judge this? It's on my standing height. I crouch down a little bit. That's a ball to me. It's a strike to ABS.
Would you have just changed your stance?
Well,
see if you could game the system?
I was just so short. I don't think it really mattered.
Was, though. You said was.
I'm getting shorter, I think. Of both legs, they're just getting wider and wider.
You don't use lifts?
No.
There was a discussion in spring training around the Dodgers about, you know, what is going to be the toughest pitch for hitters.
And a challenge from Alfonso. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile once again.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Call's correct. Los Angeles has one remaining.
This is Mike Malinsky inning. Twice he's come on the mic and said, "Call's correct."
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what everyone's doing here with this one.
Alfonso framed himself into believing he had caught a strike.
I think it's been great for the game.
Yes, I love it.
There's some strategies. The Red Sox early on didn't really know how to use it. Like they weren't really good at it, but they worked at it. They actually practiced it a few times at Fenway Park. But I think it's great. Again, getting rid of the egregious calls. I know as a hitter, I'd appreciate it. I'm sure it'd go against me a few times, but
Top of the shoe here for Abreu on the foul ball.
Well, I think it's changed the mentality of all players, hitters, pitchers, catchers, because you're not hanging on that anymore if you think you got a bad call and it hurt you. It's like, no, we can challenge it. There's a way to clear your mind and move on.
And also umpires can look at you and say, listen, don't complain. Challenge it then if you don't think it's a strike.
Yeah.
2-2. Upstairs.
The pitch in spring training that got a lot of discussion was the high breaking ball. That it's going to be really hard on, because Clayton used to throw unbelievable curveballs and they still were sharp at the top of the strike zone. Clayton, you would have loved the ABS with your curveball.
Yeah, maybe so. I think, you know, what's funny is the first at bat of the game, Sogard, Sheehan throws a curveball 3-2, I think, and it's a strike, but you can't challenge it. Alfonso just gets put in late because Rushing's hurt. Doesn't really feel confident to challenge it, and ends up being a 30-pitch first inning. So, you know, I think, you know, you see Will Smith right there. I think if Will was back there, maybe even Rush, since he was starting the game, they maybe challenged that early because it was a pretty obvious strike. And who knows if that changes the at-bat. So just to you guys' point about how much it's changed the game and how important it is, it can make a big swing one way or the other in an inning for sure.
This is going to be the segue of the century. Speaking of big swings, American Ninja Warrior is back with a triple threat. Tougher obstacles, fresh faces, and three-way races. American Ninja Warrior tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. We didn't tell you guys. We use Sunday Night Baseball as a casting call for American Ninja Warriors. So you're trying out right now.
Great.
Oral, you're up.
So we need celebrity baseball American Ninja Warrior. So there's a swing and a miss and another high fastball to Contreras. 0-2.
This is the first broadcast that I've had to do calisthenics and stretching just to get into the booth.
It's a tight squeeze.
Little bit.
This is your home booth.
I know, but there's usually only a couple of us, and we don't have the beautiful backdrop, and your chair can actually go out a little bit. So it's been tough at age 67 to get in and out.
Okay.
That's why he hasn't moved the entire broadcast.
That's another one up to Contreras for strike 3. Kirsch, how about that? Just let it rip on Contreras.
Yeah, when I used to face Wilson, he did so much damage with strike breaking balls. So for me, it was like try to get ahead with the fastball quick and then try to expand with the breaking ball and hurt. His fastball is 97, 98 at the top. I think that's the place that I would go watching these Red Sox hitters a lot if I had that pitch. Him and Rafaela especially.
We do happen to have this flashback. We're so very sorry to say. I didn't call for it.
What is happening
Clayton.
right now? How are we what is going on? That was 10 years ago, guys.
I don't run the tape machine, dude.
But that was a strike breaking ball right there,
No, that's where you get your scout is from moments like that, right?
Yeah.
In part.
This is like rookie hazing with Kirsch.
When you complain about the banner, he takes the shrapnel.
We've been praising the Red Sox outfield defense, but the infielders getting involved in this one. Nick Sogard, beautiful play there, his left. They've been doing it all night. Monastero up the middle. Good, accurate, strong throw to first base, and then Nick Sogard again up the middle, this time last inning, with a beautiful play. Flashing some leather here now in the dirt.
How you doing, dude? Good to see you.
Who are you talking to down there, Kershaw?
Oh, we're back. Mario Lopez is here, actually.
Yeah, AC Slater?
AC Slater.
Let's go.
Kirsch is talking to production to get some of those strikeouts on video.
Yeah.
Tyron Guerrero comes in and fires a fastball foul for a strike. We asked Chad Tracy, the Red Sox interim manager, who gets undervalued publicly in his bullpen. He said, well, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
But Tyron Guerrero is the guy who has had an entire baseball journey that's taken him all over the globe to make himself into what he is right now, Lou.
When you have an elite bullpen, sometimes you just need someone to come out of nowhere, right, and just be spectacular. That's what Tyron Guerrero is. 102-mile-an-hour sinker. He comes at you. He throws it almost 84% of the time. And, oh, by the way, 7 feet 1 inch extension. 94th percentile, so it even gets on you even more. Was in the big leagues in 2019 with the Marlins. Didn't throw strikes. Had some time in Mexico, Japan. Came into camp and has been throwing nothing but strikes since he's shown up.
He's got one of those resumes that reads like a Johnny Cash song. You got El Paso, San Antonio, Jacksonville, Caguas. I mean, to see what he's done this year as a reliable arm out of nowhere is really impressive hard work. And you mentioned before the game is that smoke to second, and they finally penetrated the Sogard fortress at second base.
You would think it's kind of hard to hide 102, that somebody would take a shot. But he's been a strike throwing machine. This ball's hit really hard by Muncy. Still got trying to backhand it. But you mentioned the last 22 games, 0.81 ERA, got 11 holds. He's an inning plus guy. And he's really helped Chad Tracy solidify this pen.
I loved hearing what you had to say about him as far as camp and his decision there, about his work ethic at 5 in the morning with one of his teammates.
Yeah, Aroldis Chapman, he wanted to be around him, worked with him in the offseason. Got an invite to pitch for Columbia in the WBC. Declined it because he wanted to stay in camp. He liked what they were doing. He liked the strike throwing, stuck with it, felt like he could make this team.
Alfonso tomahawks this to center field. Lou will finish this story after this message.
At Ace, no matter how you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Yeah, getting back to Guerrero, the only question was what took you so long? He's down there for 2 months doing this in AAA, but since they brought him up, he has been really good. It's a good matchup here.
Flame-throwing right-hander to Ohtani at 1:02 to start the at-bat. Strike one. That is spicy.
With Sink.
Yeah, I'm just glad the lighting is a little more consistent now when you got a guy on the mound throwing 102. At least the hitters can have a shot.
That's the first ball he's thrown, and it's way off the plate. Muncy to second base with one out.
When Shohei's in the box, you see pitchers that try too hard. It's the resume that takes them to this level of just throwing instead of pitching.
This is having 102 in the tank and trying to throw 104.
One. Well, for Guerrero, for so long, Lou, it was, can he throw enough strikes?
Yeah. By the way, he's 35. Yeah. Like, what took so long for this arm? But at 35, look what he is doing.
His first year in minor league baseball was 2010. He was 19. He was pitching with the Padres in rookie ball. He walked 32 in 16 games.
Imagine facing him. I wouldn't want to. 102 with no clue.
Good luck.
Pinch hitter.
Like J.R. Richards.
Famed Houston Astro. Wave and a miss. An exploding changeup for strike three on Ohtani.
He throws a little changeup about 13% of the time to lefties. The slider a little more so to righties, but it's a split grip. Just kind of a little fade away. Really nice pitch from Tyrone.
Isn't that interesting that you see the slow motion of the grip and it's a split finger, but they still call it a changeup? It's evaluated more on spin and break than it is on what grip you use.
Two down. Andy Pages the batter. This Dodgers team has been so good at coming back in this ballpark during this run of back-to-back World Series.
It is a really big home field advantage to play in front of as many people as the Dodgers play in front of. The home crowd travels real well when they get on the road, and they anticipate the team coming back, so they stay engaged. It's not like the olden days where the crowd thins out in the 7th inning. They come late and, you know, leave early. They come early and they stay the whole time.
Guys, how, Lou, you stood in that box. How do you hit that?
I don't know, with Sink. I would hope it would be a four-seamer straight, but with Sink, it's you get swings like you just saw there from a very good hitter. It just
that shows as a strike out of his hand. It's not a strike. One, two.
Clayton, you face some hard throwers. What's it like to be able to see the ball?
I just never swung, just hope for a walk. But you know what's funny about Andy that I'm seeing right now is that he uses the same bat all the time. It's usually an all-black model bat, and this is a two-tone bat. So I'm wondering if he's like, hey, this guy's throwing 102-mile-an-hour sinkers. I got to shorten up. I got to get a smaller bat, because he usually never does this, changes bats. It's either that or I just don't want to break my good wood.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm not taking my gamer up there.
Yeah.
You know, Oral, don't sleep either, because you did win a Silver Slugger. So, I mean, you can talk about facing some gas.
Well, Nolan Ryan threw one right at my head. Dwight Gooden threw one right at my head. I think Nolan's was on purpose because I tried to bunt for a hit the pitch before, and I forgot about the rule. Don't bunt on Nolan.
You hit 356.
I put it in play a lot, didn't strike out. My good wood was the wood that didn't reach the outfielder.
We think, our crew think, yeah, it's Kike Hernandez's bat, Kirsch.
Yeah, just break Kike's. That's fine.
I was just going to say, if I'm Kike, I don't know how I feel about this.
There it is.
Yeah, that must be like a different barrel or just a different feel in his hand for a really good sinker or something, because Andy has been swinging the same bat since he's been up here. So this is a first. I usually don't see this from him.
2-2 from Guerrero. 6-3 game. He got a piece of it.
It'll be interesting if he gets a base hit and an RBI here, or hits one out, or hits a double. Is he going to switch bats?
Nope. He could go right back to Kike's until it runs out.
I mean, this is a really good at bat right here.
Yeah, it is.
Really good at bat.
Muncy at second. 2-2 on Pages. Continues. 101. He fouls it away again.
You know, that run I was telling you about, 75% strike rate from Guerrero. And there are times when he first came up, I'm like, you know, if you could pitch to that upper rail, 102.
Yeah.
But he actually does it. He's still very successful, but he likes to keep that sinker down.
2-2. Pages reaches out and pushes it into the left field corner. What an at bat. 9 pitches to an RBI double, and it's 6-4. That is a resilient trip to the plate.
Dave Roberts is going to put this in the back of his head, and you talk about a trust tree. When they have a hard-throwing righty come out of the bullpen, they're not going to be pinch hitting for Andy after this at bat. They're going to go, wow, this guy understands how to hit in a high leverage situation.
Yeah, and you know, he fouled off 5 or 6 really good sinkers and actually got the hard thrower off his fastball as he went to that slider right there. So he really worked for that at bat and got a slider to go get.
Did you see Kike? He looked like a proud dad. That's my bat.
Yeah.
Great catch, Clayton.
Yeah, Andy, I mean, that's a big deal. Andy doesn't change bats a whole lot. Like Freddie uses the same bat all the time. Shohei, Andy's kind of in that category. So, you know, when you've been around somebody for a long time, you see that stuff. And yeah, Kike was kind of like a proud dad right there. That was cool.
First pitch, ball 1 to Tommy Edman. Now here come the Dodgers. Long at bat. If you're watching in the dugout, you've seen all of Guerrero's stuff. Tommy Edman just got jammed, and he skies it to center. Rafaela makes the catch. We got a tight one on our hands. 6-4 to the 8th. Sunday Night Baseball on NBC is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Amazon. Spend less on your kids for back to school. Some of the famed traded Red Sox and Dodgers in this series. Some of them right here in this ballpark. The countdown's at 20 hours to the trade deadline tomorrow, 6 Eastern time. And we're so happy to have you along as Wyatt Mills sprays a first pitch to hit Caleb Durbin, who does have some speed over at first. On the subject of Dave Roberts, this Boston Red Sox team is obviously very close to his heart, considering the stolen base in Game 4 of the ALCS in 2004. I thought it was really interesting the way he put how he felt about stealing bases. I mean, Dave was joking around about, you know, not feeling comfortable in the box, and a lot of guys say that they want to have the big hit, and when he was in the box, he wasn't necessarily the guy that wouldn't be offended if the guy before him had a big RBI, right? But then he gets to first base, and he said he basically felt like a totally different person, because his prep and his skill set and his ability to read pitchers, he thought made him elite. And he was right. I just think it's so interesting that you can be the same person but have two totally different psychologies about pieces of the game.
Well, he knew who he was as a base stealer. As he said, I always felt like I was one of the best. And that's, think about that job. You're getting pinch run for. Everyone in the ballpark knows you got to steal this base. Everybody. Mo knows it. Posada knows it. Boy, he just got in there too, right? But someone's got to get a hit off Mariano Rivera, or we won't be talking about the slide. So you got to give some love to Billy Miller.
Now that your text thread's happy. We talked about it the other day, a couple weeks ago, that we should have a segment on this show where we just show text messages that you get from former teammates. Somebody in the booth has to share their texts every week. But credit to Bill Miller, because without that RBI, we're not talking about that steal. You're right.
Yeah, but it was, and that's the toughest thing, right? And everybody knows that you're stealing. You're as a pitcher, you know the pinch runner. You're doing everything you can to keep him from going.
One of Dave's mentors was Maury Wills, and the Dodger fans used to chant, "Go Maury," when he would get on base. Yeah. And Dave was told by Maury, someday you're going to have to steal the base when everybody knows you're running. And that was that moment. And that was the quest that Dave was put on by Maury Wills and others to, you got to become the best base stealer ever and know every little piece of it, because that's how good you have to be when everybody knows you're running. And he put that work in, and he stole that bag.
And changed the course of history.
And gets no checks at any restaurant in Boston.
Forever.
He eats for free.
You know, we asked him, how did your life change after that? And he said, you know, actually, Theo Epstein was nice enough to trade me to San Diego. So it's instructive to him in the way to handle the deadline, Dave Roberts said, because there are some times where players just kind of need to spread their wings.
Yeah, he said, I didn't want to stay in Boston and be a fourth or fifth outfielder and not really have a career. And so he asked, and they obliged, and it was a good time for him to leave because they just won a world championship, and he did something pressure, so he was going to get a good job somewhere else.
And he did. He had a couple of very nice seasons for San Diego.
Yeah.
Ended up playing 10 years in the big leagues, and now his 11th year as the manager of the Dodgers.
Future Hall of Famer for sure.
Two and two from Mills, and it's a big chopper over to third. Muncy has to wait for it, then sling it, and not in time. A helium ball to third base, and the Red Sox have 2 on with nobody out.
This should be interesting here. This ball just chopped into the ground, but the way this Red Sox team has been playing a lot, it's not about just the situation, first and second, nobody out. It's, you know, who's on deck. Narvaez's been struggling lately at the plate. So I'd be curious to see if they let Jaron swing here.
Yeah, I think I'd let him swing just because it's a righty side armor on the mound. You know, and this matchup, he just hit a home run last at bat. He's probably feeling pretty good. And typically, this is a big bunt situation. I agree, but I would let him swing. I think right here.
That's a good look at that side arm.
I'm wrong, but what do I know?
Nobody's wrong. Other people are just more right.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I think. You know, I think with Duran, he's obviously not having the best year, but I don't know. There's just something about his swing. I always feel like he's dangerous up there. And, you know, Mills is throwing from the side. He's definitely a guy that's much tougher against right-handed batters. And so, you know, to each his own.
I'm with you, Kirsch.
But I'm with you too, Kirsch. I would be letting him swing. You got the 2-run lead.
Tough guy to double off, too.
There's a bunt third base side of the mound. Mills has to deliver to first, and look out. Freeman's reach went right into the baseline. It's a sac bunt. And next week on Sunday Night Baseball, Yordan Alvarez and the red-hot first-place Astros head to San Diego to take on Fernando Tatis Jr. and the Padres, who are right in the middle of do you buy, do you sell, what do you do? We'll find out. It's an interleague showdown in SoCal, only on NBC and Peacock. And the Red Sox, to your point, Lou, you're not bunting here for Narvaez. They're going to pinch hit for Narvaez with Anthony Siegler, the switch hitter, who will bat left-handed. He's the only left-handed option
You know, another one of these guys, these role players that have brought an attitude, a toughness to this team. And, you know, he's actually been struggling lately, but he's been leading off a lot, and they just don't lose. It's big play, big hit here and there. He's another one. I was telling you guys about Durbin and the finger dislocated. He had an incident in Chicago the next series. There was a collision at the plate with Kyle Teal, and you thought it was like a collarbone, shoulder. The knee pad went into the shoulder, and you thought maybe he was going to be in IL. Well, he fought to stay into the game. They didn't, but he played the next day, and he had a big home run against the New York Mets. And it was just a continuation of what we saw from Durbin to Seigler, guys like Sogard and that man, Monasterio. This grit, this toughness of role players has really changed the culture in that clubhouse.
He hit a ball as well as you can in Sacramento on Tuesday without getting it up and out to end that game. 397 feet away. Infield in, big spot for Seigler. And that gets away. Here comes run number 7. It's a wild one, and the Red Sox use it to add on.
That's why you brought him over.
Well, I mentioned off the top how this team has been getting rewarded for playing baseball the right way. And, you know, by putting that bunt down and moving the runners, you're able to score a run here just on a wild pitch.
People always ask us, like, who is your toughest hitter? And I say, no one. It's the situations that are tough.
Yeah.
And that's where that pitch comes from. He's in a tough situation and he overthrows it. You have to learn to deal with those tough situations. And there was no better than Clayton. He just kept throwing the same pitches and kept getting people out or kept attacking no matter what.
I think he'd say the same about you.
Well, I got to cover him. He was one of the reasons I came back here to be a Dodgers, because I get to go with Kirsch, Greinke, and Ryu. Oh yeah, I'd like to broadcast for that team.
2-1. Seigler fouls it away.
But Clayton, what was the trick, or what was the magic in your head that kept you being the same no matter what the situation was?
Well, you know, actually, one of the pitching coaches I had growing up was Skip Johnson, who actually had Bennett over at Oklahoma, and I was texting with him earlier, and he always told me just make the next pitch. And I think that's the case. You can't really control anything else. Just keep making the next pitch.
Oh, Alfonso could not haul it in, and that one gets by. Monasterio's home with run number 8. All the action at the dish, much to the Dodgers' dismay.
This is what we call in business bad presentation. You're going to have bad days. You're going to lose. You're not going to do things well sometimes, but when it accumulates, it's just really bad presentation, especially when you're at home.
Looked like that one got him in the thumb too. He started shaking that hand. At first I thought he was crossed up. You see him kind of speeding up on him a little bit back there. Couldn't do anything about the first one.
So Rushing was supposed to start, Dalton Rushing, and then he went out with arm irritation. About an hour, 45 minutes before the game, he was scratched. You have Will Smith still on the IL, and this is not going to quiet any calls for catching help for the Dodgers over the next 20 hours or so.
It's such a hard situation to just get put in the lineup as a catcher 5 minutes before.
Fly ball left field, and Hernandez makes a catch. 2 down, and Sogard after this.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB scores.
Clayton Kershaw downstairs, Oral Hershiser, Lou Merlone, Jason Benetti. Experts from both sides as always here on Sunday Night Baseball. As the Red Sox lead 8-4 going for a 3-game sweep. Oh, there's the trade deadline countdown. At 0, you think it's over, but sometimes the paperwork gets put through right at zeros and you hear about it late, so stay by your phones. Long throw, Mookie Betts, and it sails wide. Sogard is safe. Mookie had to rush it. Sogard is on.
Yeah, we just had the trade deadline talk up there, and you know what? When something falls, like the Skubal trade, the conversations on all the phone calls going on around the league is changing too. A shoe's got to drop sometimes before all of a sudden the dam breaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of conversations going on now that the big piece, where you were going to use your prospects to try and get the big piece, we've got ammo now in other places, right? That they can go get stuff.
There is no phrase you hear more at the deadline in a bunch of different tones than "what are we doing?" Like, oh, he's off the board. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And then there's the teams that don't really make the move, like the Dodgers did, and they go, "What are we doing?"
Well, I mean, that's kind of, I think people back in Boston right now with 20 hours left are wondering, what are we doing? Like, this team is the hottest team in baseball. You're seeing it right here. I mean, you got a good shot here of sweeping the back-to-back champs, and there's some improvements that can be made. There's some bats that can be added, maybe a starting pitcher that can be added. Now, it's still 20 hours, but it's not the most patient group up there. They kind of want everything done yesterday.
Well, you would imagine they would do something, though. The Curtis Mead injury, it suggested they felt like they needed him. Now you don't have that. You would almost have to add something just to replace that at the very least, right?
Yeah. No, you could use another bat. And you know, the hard part is that, like, the guys we're talking about replacing are the guys that have had a huge role in what they're doing right now. Whether it be middle infielders or catchers, starting pitchers, whatever it may be.
So here's the Curtis Mead injury. I mean, this is what, 2 pitches in?
Yeah, and he's got coverage everywhere except for the red tape, which is where he hit him. Right? He's got the hand guard, the elbow guard. And X-rays the next day said fractured wrist, 6 to 8 weeks.
Looping liner, right center field. That's a base knock. Sogard to third. Raffaello. Everything he touches lands somewhere good, it feels like, for Boston.
And you're kind of seeing a little bit of everything that this team has been doing. Because a lot of times when you open up the door, you make even like a 2-out error. Next thing you know, they take advantage of it. So nothing in yet, but now gets another at-bat here to Abreu.
You have Chad Tracy in the dugout, interim manager, whose father, Jim, was a half-decade manager for the Dodgers. Oral, you got to know him well. Here's ball 1.
Great manager, did an amazing job at every stop, really, but manager of the year one year, and Chad got to grow up with that and probably learned a lot. And when we asked him about what he learned from his dad, you know, he's almost like, where do I start? You know, even as a child, he was learning it, not even as a player, and then wanting to possibly be a coach or manager.
You said Dad is a very meticulous skipper.
Very meticulous guy, and you know, we didn't have the charts that they have now in the computer tracking, but he was AI back when there was no AI as far as the gathering of data and processing it. Just his charts were amazing.
There you see Jim as a Rockies manager. He was the interim manager 2009. The Rockies opened 18-28. They go to the postseason. He's the manager of the year. And Jim said to Chad this year, as relayed to us by Chad, just stay yourself. Just be yourself. And then over the long haul, not immediately, but over the long haul, you hope the team will take on your personality.
Well, look at that record. I mean, 50-34. You know, and he has done a fantastic job. Again, it was a young group, and I also got to point out too the staff. They got rid of the entire hitting department. And they brought a bunch of inexperienced young guys from A-ball, and they have meshed together, worked hard, and it's been an impressive run.
We're big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan that QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Giovanni Moran, who's had a very nice season but was touched up for a home run by Shohei Ohtani.
What's up, dude? How are you?
In the opener.
I got Scoops here, Jason.
You got him?
Yeah, he's right here.
What's up, Scoob?
He just said hi. He said he looks good in Dodger blue.
Did he actually say that?
No, he didn't say that.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I one to Alex Call. That's downstairs, a ball and a strike. You got a headset for him?
We didn't make it that far. You know, he's kind of, you know, he's talking to some new teammates. It's kind of like a first day of school, you know. You got to get in, meet everybody, and even though everybody knows who you are, they don't know who you are, you know. So you got to kind of show who you are, and you know, I don't want to take him away from that. It's kind of fun.
What do you know about the first day of school in a new clubhouse?
I just know from other people. I don't know much. Yeah, but you know, it's always fun to get new guys in the clubhouse. Get to talk to them. That was a good swing by AC right there.
Alex Call to left field. And that thing climbs the wall and ends up on the warning track. It's a leadoff double. Never count the Dodgers out. Moran allows a double to Call to lead off the eighth.
Well, it's interesting, actually. You got this lead a little bit, kind of Tracy able to stay away from Whitlock, who normally would get the eighth. But with a 4-run lead, Giovanni, who's done really well for this team, and as a reliever, he's got a 1.96 ERA. Hit 168 off him. Really good changeup here.
Mookie Betts sees a first pitch fastball called a strike. That looked like it was up.
Mookie adjusted his helmet right after the pitch, and I thought he was challenging it.
That's the universal sign for I don't know if I should challenge.
This is an interesting situation because AC, Alex Call, just pinch hit for Freddie, and it looks like Kike's going to pitch hit for Tucker next. And so, you know, it's not, you know, obviously Kike and AC are really good against left-handed pitchers, but taking out those two guys, it's kind of a signal like, hey, we don't have anybody else to throw the ninth. We don't really have, you know, a comeback in mind. It's kind of what it feels like when you take out Freddie and Tucker right here.
But the depth is enough that they're at bats that could bring you back into the game almost accidentally.
Yeah, I mean, these two guys against left-handed pitching, I'd want them up at any time. You know, AC and Kike are both unbelievable against left-handed pitching. So yeah, it is, to your point, an embarrassment of riches for sure. But anytime you take Freddie and Tucker out of the game, it's a little interesting.
I think you're right too, but you also, you know, in the long run, you want to get these guys at bats against lefties because you got to keep them relevant.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the extended spring training.
I was going to say, when you're 27 games over, you can you get some work in.
Yeah. It's an asset you want to spend. Get these guys in the game, get them in at bat.
2-2 on Mookie Betts.
Yeah, these guys are going to Chicago tonight to play tomorrow too, which maybe is a factor as well. That's a big trip.
Long trip for Boston too. Ground ball to shortstop. Monasterio gets around it and throws it. For out number one. Well, Hernandez will back to Tucker, as you said, Clayton. Reigning World Series champions getting reigning Cy Young Award winners. Justin Verlander in 2023 is the last guy to do it. Cliff Lee, 2009. Tarek Skubals won back-to-back Cy Youngs. He was out earlier this year with the bone chips in his elbow. He got that nano needle surgery to bring him back fairly quickly. But the stuff, I mean, the stuff is basically no different this year than it has been in the prior 2 years. The numbers are a little bit higher as he's gotten back to full strength, but he's a menace.
The fastball changeup foundation is amazing, but so are his other pitches. But I think he's going to fit in so well because of his competitiveness. He is just such a gamer and shows his emotions, and people will feed off that in a hurry.
I don't know if you go with him game one, Yamamoto game one, it doesn't really matter. You know, you got the next guy the next night.
Not official, but we heard Tuesday in Chicago is when he may start. His last start for the Tigers was Wednesday.
How's the feeling out in Detroit? It can't be a good one.
That's the question. Well, I knew something was up last night. We were doing the Tigers game, and during the break, I looked at my phone, and my phone was ringing as Oral Hershiser was calling me during the Tigers game. Oral, what had you seen on social media when you called me?
It was fans chanting here. We got Scooble, we got Scooble, and it was talk radio with David Vassay here, and talking about guys releasing that it was going to happen.
It was the news of the night in Major League Baseball. And on Wednesday, what felt like it could have been his last start for the Tigers was his last start for the Tigers. You see him clapping as he came off the mound, as he's prone to do. I mean, he was beloved there. He was born and raised a Tiger. And you go back and watch him in his debut of 2020. He's like half the size. He's self-made in the weight room and pitch design and all that. And the Dodgers got a great one. Greg Weissert coming out of the bullpen for the Red Sox when we come back. On game nights with MLB Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game. Game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Go to MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. Lou, another piece of this great bullpen, Greg Weissert.
Yeah, it had a real tough beginning of the season, especially with inherited runners. Snake bitten in April. And it just sort of snowballed, right? You could see it when he came in with guys on. Bases were empty. He's absolutely lights out, but he's done a really nice job here recently. I think it's interesting. As the season goes on, the arm angle has dropped. Intentionally at times, especially on that sweeper. It's like 18, 20%. Next thing you know, it's a 10. Really getting low on that sinker sweeper combo.
(8-4) Boston looking for a sweep of the Dodgers here at Dodger Stadium before an off day tomorrow, and the White Sox come to town to Fenway for a huge August series. White Sox just won't stop. They were winners big at the Trop earlier today. They're the leaders in the American League Central. They picked up Luis Castillo in that trade with Seattle, including Sir Anthony Dominguez going to the Mariners. Ground ball third base. That is fair. It is Durbin, and a long throw is on the mark to retire the side. Go to the ninth. Red Sox by 4. Alex Collin right, Kike Hernandez over at first. The defensive changes for the Dodgers here in the 9th, and Wilson Contreras will lead off for a Red Sox team that has 4 solo homers tonight. Contreras a rare 0 for 4 for him this year. Cedar Rafaela has a home run. Abreu has a homer. Yoshida and Duran.
We haven't seen many stretches like this from Wilson. 3 for his last 20. Honestly, it's been consistent. I don't think he's gone 3 games without getting a hit. He did 4 the other day, but there's 8 walks during that stretch. He's still getting on base.
I love watching him play. I love the energy that he brings. And the old phrase, he plays with his hair on fire. He leads by example.
You said he plays like his hair's on fire. Is that because he was given a Wilson from Castaway as a birthday present earlier this year?
Really?
Didn't Suarez give him a Wilson volleyball?
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect. Hair on fire.
Team Venezuela is well represented on this Red Sox team.
Strike 3, Mills to the northwest corner for strike 3. Our tick-tock play of the game, Lou Merlone, some power from the Red Sox tonight.
Well, like I said, they've been swinging. They've been hitting more home runs, especially this guy. Now 7 home runs since the All-Star break. And how about Wilyer Abreu? He's been catching fire here with the long ball. And, of course, Yoshida. He chimes in, too, with number 5 of the year. Like I said, guys, it's been a combination of everything. We've seen him bunt, we've seen him hit homers, seen him play defense.
We've seen a lot of Wally tonight. So, if you had to pick right now who the favorite in the American League is, right now, who you choose?
Well, I got to choose the Red Sox.
I have a hard time.
Hard time not to.
Obviously, there's a lot of respect, I think, for the Rays. They went out and got Peralta, so now it's in McClanahan, Rasmussen, Martinez. You know the Yankees, they added some offense with Luis Garcia. That staff is, so there's plenty of respect for those teams. I want to see what the Red Sox do in the next 20 hours.
Yeah.
What do they need, Lou?
They need a bat. And like I said, maybe shortstop, see Trevor Story. I don't know where he's going to be coming back, but I think those are some of the things they've talked about. All the reports you hear, catcher, shortstop, starting pitcher. Can they execute that in the next 20 hours, whatever we have left? But they have something going on here, as you're seeing. They're not afraid of anybody. And they're playing with a ton of confidence. It's been going on now for some time.
I mean, a month plus at this point.
And you don't want to upset the chemistry, right?
That's the hard part, too, because like I said, the guys you're talking about replacing have played a huge role in this turnaround. All of them, everybody.
And if all of a sudden they're either gone or lose playing time, you got to keep the house in order.
How do you do that? I mean, you guys have lived through deadlines. How do you do that?
Well, yeah, it's hard, because you're talking about 2 catchers that have contributed in different ways. You're talking about a middle infield where it's been a bunch of role utility players that have really settled in and done a nice job for you. I think as a GM, you have to take a step back and look at the big picture. What's it look like in 2 months? Postseason play? What kind of roster do I want going into it?
Ball 4 to Yoshida. 1 on, 1 out. And then there's the luxury of an NFL general manager right now. All you have to worry about is who's going to play in the preseason. It's easy, right? Thursday night, the NFL preseason kicks off. Panthers face the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame game Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. If AC Slater is here, who's going to be at the Hall of Fame game? There is a strike called, challenge. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile, and it's a correct challenge. It's a ball. Durbin sees ball 1. Big save by the Bell fans in this booth.
Of course. You kidding me? AC, the whole crew.
Kirsch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was Saved by the Bell. Boy Meets World. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there.
I like that we're getting an insight into Clayton Kershaw's pop culture love.
Yeah, you know, I used to be like, I thought I was young, and then you start kind of throwing like Friends, Seinfeld, some of these other shows out there, and then you're in the clubhouse with 25-year-olds, and they have no idea what you're talking about. So, especially with movies too, like you say, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Waterboy. Some of them look at you with 3 heads, like they've never heard of these movies, and it's just sad.
Did you only watch Adam Sandler movies?
That's it. Only Adam Sandler movies. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
When we were talking about the trust tree, you know, with the Dodgers, and my brother texts me and goes, "Is that like the Circle of Trust from Meet the Fockers?"
Nice.
So it's really kind of like Meet the Dodgers.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Not that you guys asked me, but AL favorite for me, I think I got to go. I think I got to go Yankees still. I mean, I just think if Aaron Judge comes back, that rotation is special. With Fried and Garrett Cole both healthy now with Schlittler, that's tough to beat. So I know there's a lot of Red Sox fans listening right now. They're probably mad at me, but I think the Yankees, if Judge comes back and is healthy, is going to be pretty tough.
What about the White Sox?
I honestly don't know. I don't know enough about them. I've watched them play. They're fun to watch. But, you know, they're an inexperienced team, and I would bet on experience come October a little bit more. But I think it goes through the AL East for sure. Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, I think are probably the 3 best teams right now.
I think that's the biggest question with the Yankees. Like we've played them before. You know, even when Stanton's not in the lineup, it changes the look.
Yeah.
You take Judge out, it's a different team. Now Bellinger's dealing with a hamstring. They've added Garcia. If they can get them all back healthy, even if it's September, that lineup is dangerous, especially in that ballpark. That rotation is, I mean, it's one of the best.
Astros? Anybody buying the Astros? One of the hottest teams in baseball right now. 1-1 to Monasterio. Fades just outside as Mills is trying to pick up final couple outs here for the Dodgers.
I don't know if I buy that pitching. Yordan Alvarez is just on a different planet, but
how about the Let's Go Red Sox guy trying to do 1 versus a bunch of 1,000?
Well, when Kirsch picked the Yankees, he
heard me.
He blew my cover. He blew my cover on why I picked the Red Sox. I like Boston. I like going out to dinner there. I don't want people yelling at me.
No, you want free meals in the North End, right?
I don't need free meals. I just want to be able to peacefully walk to out of my Uber into the dining room.
They already beat me in a World Series. They're good. I'm fine.
3-1 is in for a strike on a slider to Monasterio. 3-2. Bunch of Red Sox fans, a smattering.
Yeah, you see it a lot when we come out West Coast. They don't get a chance to see their team if they moved out here.
Line drive left field. Hernandez in his tracks makes the catch. 2 down.
You really see it everywhere. Just like it's one of those teams, right? You know, Dodgers have a huge following. Yankees have a huge following. Cubs, Red Sox, just the old squads.
He said, "I can't hear you."
This guy's taking on everybody right now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you guys mentioned the AL West. I want to see one of those teams go for it. You know, we're talking about all these big names out there, and you know that division is wide open with the Rangers, Mariners, Astros. One of those 3 teams. You know, somebody go for it. Somebody make a push to make the playoffs, because like you guys know, you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. So just make it and then go from there.
Popped up first base side. Inning over. Well, we saw AC Slater here at the ballparks. You might as well get some beach volleyball in your life, Preppy. The week first power up for an intergalactic adventure in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Head back to the swamp with Shrek, and more mayhem awaits you in Minions. Now streaming on Peacock. Something for everybody. If you like animated features. 8-4. Red Sox over the Dodgers. going for a 3-game sweep of Los Angeles here tonight. The Red Sox trying to get to 9 games over 500 for the first time this year, and they will ride Garrett Whitlock, who's the 5th guy out of the bullpen tonight, Luke.
Yeah, one of the most underrated relievers in the game. Maybe not underrated anymore. Team USA, actually, Kershaw played with him. This guy's just been fantastic for this team. Wipe out slider, change up.
First pitch pop up. Muncy, third base, foul territory. 1 down. Durbin makes the catch.
They try to stay away from, got to protect him a little bit, right? The month of July, he had 13 appearances in the month. Now they kept winning, they kept going to him. I mean, he was fantastic. Only give up 1 run, 0 walks, 10 strikeouts. Oh, you love him. He pounds the zone.
Yeah.
But this is one of the great humans in the game right here.
Why do you say that?
He's just a good man. You know, he does so much in the community in Boston. Leader of this team, one of them.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites on the WBC team to get to know. He was pretty great. That changeup is gross.
How gross, Kirsch?
I mean, it's top 10 changeups in the game. I mean, it really is. And then you couple it with he's only got 6 walks all season. I mean, you can't hit it. I mean, that's just unbelievable. He's making him beat you every single time, and that's why he's so good against left and right. He's just such a weapon out of the bullpen.
6 walks in more than 40 innings now as Ohtani gets 1 more at bat and takes a strike.
This team is about to go 14-0 against Yankees, Rays, White Sox, and Dodgers in the last 3 weeks.
In a row.
Unbelievable.
In terms of games against teams with winning records.
I mean, 23-3 in your last 26. I mean, it's just truly unbelievable.
It really is.
The run that they're on.
Yeah, especially with the roster, right? Of how they turned it around. It's not, you didn't do this at the start of the season, coming out of a great spring training.
And a hot change of coaches in the middle of the year.
I think that really shook a lot of people. I remember I had dinner reservations in Baltimore when the news broke. We didn't know what to do. Couldn't believe it. You know, Alex, I still think, is a great manager in this game. Just been there for so long, he didn't think it would happen. And like I said, he brought in Tracy here, and that took a month. Right, he's getting to know his players, his roster, but they've really taken off.
They're a strike away from a 22-4 stretch, and that's inside from Whitlock. Tarek Skubal is the prize this weekend for the Dodgers, who, even if they take a sweep at the hands of Boston, they have made the biggest splash in baseball so far at the trade deadline, as that was a tester and just outside. The meet and greet continues in the Dodger dugout. 3-2, misses ball 4. Ohtani walks.
Nice plane flight for them to get to know their new teammate.
Well, they're in a spot where you know maybe you get swept here in this series. You're still high-fiving in the dugout, in the clubhouse. Getting ready for the plane.
Oh yeah.
You get Skubal.
I don't know if he's a card player, but that's another way to get to know your teammates is get in the card game.
That's important. Cards in fantasy football. That's important. We got fantasy coming up. So.
I mean, here's the road trip coming up. They're in Chicago for 3 at Wrigley, and then 3 in Arizona. Then Tarek Skubal gets to see the Kansas City Royals again. The Royals are like, come on, man. Come on. He's gone. Ohtani runs, and he will take second. Baseball, the only sport where apathy is recorded in the scorebook. Defensive indifference.
All right, Paul stuck with Kike's bat, so maybe it's a trend.
Watching and waiting. And that is it. Strike 3. The Red Sox sweep the Dodgers behind 4 home runs and some great defense.
Well, they came in here in LA and kind of really downplayed the test, right? The back-to-back World Series champions. just try to take it game by game, and they're going to walk out of here with a sweep and a 6-1 road trip. Just the run continues for this team, and I think everybody who's there to see it here tonight. It's just who they are.
The Dodgers hope that the team that is playing now in August is not the one you see in October, but the Red Sox hope that the team you see in October is the one that's playing now.
Gentlemen, an absolute pleasure to share this game with you, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that this is the 4-year anniversary of the passing of